Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of XGR, the Xpound Gaming Radio. This is our weekly look at video game news and a bit of a catch up with games we've played this week, so you get some thoughts on that. And as well as that, this week we go to a topic, and this month it's the awards. This is our second half of our best awards. Woo! I am the host for this half of the awards. Joining me is the host from the last two, Richter Hammer.
Hello.
And as always, Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hey.
Pew pew. So, who wants to go first with our news? Because this is the... Hang on, let me do it right. Which one sound effect should I start using? News. We have sound effects. Why not? It's a radio show. Why not you do sound effects? News.
I was scared of the Inception noise or whatever. Like, I don't know. Sometimes there's that noise and people are like, "That's the Inception noise," and I always think of that as the like the Mass Effect noise, because doesn't like the Reaper make that? Or anyway,
It does.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's not the Inception noise. Anyway, okay. I'll go first then for news, I guess.
Yay.
Okay. So.
Oh well. Let's never do that again.
So I didn't see any mention of this beforehand, but Final Fantasy IV showed up on Steam, I think yesterday or today or something, and it's basically a port of the DS version, but they added actual voice acting for the cutscenes and some like new mapping feature for the dungeons, and it's like $17, which sucks. But other than that, I'm like, I will probably buy that again because I love that game way too much. I have just about every version of it, and I'm like, crap, another version to buy.
Good luck playing with your single screen, peasants.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh man.
I'm so kidding with that, but no,
it's worth it to get two monitors so you can.
Yeah, you have to get two monitors just to play the game. One has to be a touchscreen. But no, like I said, Final Fantasy it's a popular series. I do love 1 to 6, so I'd probably buy that. If they released that on PSN or something, I'd totally buy the fuck out of that. And it stands to reason it would have been yesterday or today-ish or when that would have popped up on the store, because isn't now technically, because they're doing the pre-show stuff, isn't this the Tokyo Game Show? So I'm guessing they probably would have hyped it up on that a bit.
Oh, maybe.
Because I know Sony had a really disappointing conference, hence no one's going to take that as their news.
I didn't know actually games. Oh, okay. I know it was starting, but I didn't think it actually started like yet.
Yeah, I believe it starts on the 18th, which is today for me, but yesterday on the 17th, and the day before they were starting to get like, you know, like when E3 does like the pre-conferences and news.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now it's all falling into place. Well, I saw like little bits of news, but it was like, oh, here's the Square Enix news, and then like, oh, nothing. You know, it's like, oh, they took it down, and I'm like, okay, okay, now, okay.
I helped Richter realize something. Yay!
I know.
I had no sound effect for thought.
Yeah, I don't know it. That'd be. Yeah, they should have one that just goes, hmm.
Yeah, it's like they have a yay, they should have a boo.
Yeah, they should.
But over to Pew Pew.
Alright, well I have just a little bit of news. Unity Pro is now available for any licensed PlayStation developer at the low price of nothing! So if you happen to have developed a PlayStation game, you can totally develop more games using this, which is normally it costs like either $1,500 like forever or $75 a month. And yeah, it allows you to use tools to create 2D and 3D games, and has all sorts of applications to help you.
So Sony is giving away $15,000 worth of software for free, and they're wondering why they're losing money. Try to think, what could be causing this?
Well, maybe but it's only two PlayStation developers, so they'll make awesome games, and then Sony will make lots of money again.
There is that too.
It's all the DLC they have to buy for it. That's what
Yeah.
where they'll get them.
It'll be
Oh, you wanted it to be in 3D? Well, that's going to cost extra.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
Developers
you
have
want
to pay
controller input?
microtransactions.
Yes.
We've given you all the buttons, but X? Yeah, X is a microtransaction. That's going to cost you $5. Sorry, it's an on the control pad character.
As long as we can get the reverse one. Ooh, you want your PS4 on the top shelf of my drawer? You're going to have to pay $9.99 for that.
Yeah. But no, I could see the repercussions. That might be a bad word, but I could see the repercussions or ramifications of this in a good, positive way. Because yay, more people making PlayStation games. That's always a plus.
Woo!
Hey.
And my bit of news, which is a little sad news for me and possibly Richter. I'm not sure how excited he was, but we're announcing today that this comes by the way from 2K themselves. This is how they announced it. Today we're announcing that 2K15 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One has a new release date of November 18th in North America and internationally on November 21st. For more details, check out the official announcement on WWE.com or WWE.2K.com, which is ironic because that's exactly the page I got this from. WWE.2K.com. And then they'll go on to say the developers at Visual Concepts and Yux feel that they need some additional time to make 2K15 shine even more on the newer consoles, and this was their best course of action. While the PS4 and Xbox One versions of 2K15 have moved to a new date, it should be noted the 360 and PS3 versions have not. You can expect to see them in stores on the original date of October 28th in North America and international October 31st.
Yay. Well, half yay, I guess. It's yay that they didn't hold back the other ones, but I mean, I think it'll be good because weren't they polishing the graphics, I believe?
I believe they're fixing Visual Concepts in Yuxfield, and they just said they need to put more shine and stuff. So yeah, we don't know what they're doing. They may be fixing some bugs, or they may be fixing something. But like I've mentioned in the past, I'm all for this. Hey, if your game can't run on day one, feel free to delay it. Because I shouldn't buy a game on day one, have to wait 2 weeks for the actual patch so it plays right.
Yeah.
So I'm all in favor of this, and as long as I still get my Hulk Hogan edition, I'm happy. There's been no information on the Hulk Hogan edition yet, but I assume the internet would have imploded with rage if they'd cancelled it. Considering it's the internet, they normally go rage over everything.
I would hope that if they were going to cancel it, they would cancel it, not a month, just over a month before it comes out, at least partial, or, for some systems.
Yep. And now it's time to move to our next topic, which is ketchup. We need more sound effects.
Are we doing two or just one?
One.
Okay.
Over to whichever one of you wants to go first.
I played more Plants vs. Zombies. It's pretty cool because a lot of people. It's pretty cool because a lot of people unlock stuff at different times because they're random because of the cards. Like, you unlocked stuff, like, I haven't seen your Mystic or Crispy's Mystic Sunflower, your Dark Sunflower, but, like, you haven't seen my Electric Chomper, so it's cool you can see everybody's stuff. And,
yep.
Yeah.
And my Dark Sunflower now has a pumpkin mask and shoots rainbows to heal people. Because why the fuck not? But yeah, that's a pretty good game.
It does look really good.
Over to Rick. And if that was all PP was mentioning, about that game, okay, Rick, take us away.
Okay. I will. Okay, I guess I'll talk about this the two. Um, so I played some of the Smash 3DS demo, and because my friend gave me a code, which is awesome,
Nice.
and because I think it's available tomorrow for everyone, because like Club Nintendo Platinum people got 4 codes, and just to further, I didn't think this was possible, but then to further reduce my faith in humanity, people were selling them for like $30, and it's like, really, you were given for anyway. But it's kind of cool. It has 5 characters in one stage, so it's really limiting. Also, you can't change any of the options, which I was like, oh, really? Like, you can't even change the time limit of the fight or like stock or anything. So it's
Although,
just like,
oh, I was gonna say, well, isn't your demo better than everyone else's?
I,
Because the way
yeah,
the way Nintendo had worded it was, platinum members, and they can give the same demo to their friends, got an unlimited use
yeah,
demo with this, and it said, however, another demo of another demo of a different variety will be available to regular people at another date, which means people think the other ones may actually be,
yeah.
like those, like you
It'll
can
be
only
the
use it
30
30
uses.
times or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so it's unlimited, but I mean, with only 5 characters, I don't think you'd play it that much. Like, I don't know. Even though I'm not a fan of the demo limits, especially, well, at least on the 3DS and Wii U, like, I've never played the demo more than a few times, like, of most demos. So, but I just
Yeah.
don't like that it's there. So, yeah, I guess it is technically better. But I mean, if you're paying $30, why not just put that toward the game, and $10 more, and you get more than 5 characters?
You get 6. No.
Yeah. But, well, I was happy because Mega Man is one of the characters you could try, so I'm like, yeah, and
Nice.
he's weird because he doesn't like because I've played the other Smashes, and normally your auto attack, the A attack, you punch and kick and whatever, but Mega Man shoots, which is legit, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, like I have to rethink how to play the game. I don't run up and punch people. You just like jump around and shoot them. So it required a weird mindset shift that I just did not expect, because I kind of thought that would be like his over A or whatever, or like his over smash. I thought would be like shooting, and then he would like charge it, and that would be like give the smash property to it. But he doesn't. He doesn't like punch and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice. Who are the other characters?
It has Link, I believe, the villager. Who else did I beat up? Pikachu.
Who was that be up?
Well, I just kept picking Mega Man because I like Mega. I wanted to get his final smash, and it took a couple rounds. Like, for
It
some
makes
reason, I
sense.
didn't want to spawn the smash ball.
No, to be fair, it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
everyone does that on fighting games. You pick your favorite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not really interested in playing as the villager, even though he's new, and the other people were already people I've played as, so I'm like, I don't care. Yes, Pikachu, Link. I don't remember the 5th person, but I'm pretty than Villager and Mega Man. But it was kind of
Mario?
cool. I would think so, but I don't remember fighting against him.
I'd
So.
be shocked if Mario was not one of the playables in the demo for
Yeah,
Smash
I know, it
Bros. I'd
makes
be like,
sense.
what the fuck?
But I couldn't remember for sure, so I didn't want to just guess it was Mario. It should be Mario, but I don't remember for sure.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. Although it can be hard to tell what's going on, because even though I have the XL, like when it zooms out, I'm like, oh crap. And I'm like, I'm glad I'm a distance character, because it's harder to gauge the hits when it's so small. But it was kind of fun. I wish I could have switched some of the stuff. Like, I wanted to make longer matches just so I was guaranteed to get a smash ball, or like make it stock or whatever. And also the other thing is, I read in the full version you can switch the controls, which is good, because I didn't think I would have this problem, but I just it has the old Smash controls where A and B are attack and X and Y are jump, but considering so many games use a different set, and that the 3DS buttons are similar to most controllers, like my brain wanted to hit different buttons for attack and jump, and apparently you can switch that in the real one. I'm like, why can't I do it in the demo? Like,
Nice.
because I kept like, haha, I'm gonna jump. Oh, I just shot. Okay.
When that game comes out, are you planning to pick that up?
I'm still not sure. I think I might get the Wii U one if I did, just because it was not as easy to play on the 3DS.
Plus,
Like, it controlled fine, but it was just.
Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh, but I mean, like the controls weren't bad. It was just it could be hard to see. It was kind of the small screen was what I felt was limiting it. Like the art style and all the graphics looked fine. With that kind of like outlined cell shaded look.
Yeah, I was gonna. What I was saying was I figured the reason you'd probably go Wii U is because then you can play us,
Yeah.
Woo!
Yay.
and we can gang up on Stacy,
Ah,
Yay.
no.
and she's her me killer doubly.
No.
Oh man, I don't. I watched a video that had like all the final smashes just because I do that with fighting games. A lot of times I just want to see like all the super moves. And the me like fist fighter that one's cool.
I will warn you though. I've seen
Uh-huh.
videos online. Do not use Stacy's me or as on the Smash Bros. Or do not go against her.
Uh-huh.
Because I saw someone play as Kirby. They absorbed her, and then they just killed themselves. They just went and hung themselves right there on the spot. They were like, nope, I'm done. It only happens with her me though. That'd be cool if the me takes on every Kirby absorbs your me's and gets your personalities. Absorbs Jim and just can't move.
I thought he would just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like that Jigglypuff move. Rest.
He played. That's what we need, an Xpound video game where basically you can be like Hercule on one of the Budokai games with Present for You, where you give Jim a Vita and it just puts him to sleep and then blows up.
Yes. That would be amazing.
That's your move. You have the ability to use Vitas to put people to sleep and blow them up. But I believe that was it for catch up because I didn't play anything this week because I was too busy recording multiple videos. So that leaves us to topic.
Amazeballs.
Ooh.
We did the drum roll earlier. I was like, is he gonna say it just for fun? But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, which is the topic. Which now it's the awards. So first up is the management game, best management game. And takes away with best management game. Pew Pew, best management game.
Video game tycoon.
And cool. I like that game.
I like that game. I made a bunch of cool games and had like a whole company and stuff, and that was fun.
Fair enough. Before you would have talked about it a little bit more. Fair enough.
I called it Pew Pew. Was it? What did I call it? I called it like Pew Pew Industries or something like that, or like some big company or something. And it was. I always like take the piss out of it, like a lot of games, They could make like sports games or whatever, but then I'd call Just Watch, or no, I made a racing game saying watch them turn left. That was like the name of the game.
Nice.
It's like, hey, you got it, like awesome, And it's just so much fun, like making all the combinations. Like, oh, you made a mature game, you must be really raunchy, and
Nice. And over to Rick.
Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection. I think it's like the only one I've actually played, but it's like an idle sim mostly.
Nice.
Or idle management, whatever. But it's pretty cool. It has that Neptunia humor, which is silliness and making fun of boob sizes and whatnot. And the characters, if people don't recall, are personifications of the major consoles and companies. So
Nice.
pretty fun actually. Like I didn't think I would like it that much, but I kept playing it. I'm like, this is pretty fun. Very low stress game because it's all just like choices. The real action you do is during the dance numbers, but even that's not a whole lot. It's not like Parappa or anything where you're hitting all the buttons trying to do it all.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I honestly haven't played that one, but that's sort of
No,
cool.
it's Vita only, so I don't expect anyone else here to have played it.
I've considered getting a Vita multiple times.
Yeah, I know, but
I haven't.
yeah. PlayStation TV. I'm telling you, that'll be the good one.
I'm not going to do the drum roll for everything now. I've got bored of doing that. I'm going to go with best management game. For me, I went with The Movies on PC. If you hadn't played that game, basically, you got to build your studio in like a theme park or roller coaster tycoon, SimCity style way, like on a grid. And you got to build like a sci-fi set over there, or over here you could build like a Wild West set. Then you hire actors and you hire you build them trailers and stuff. You hire actors, you put them in there, you pick the scenes, and at the end you've created an actual CGI movie that you can watch, and you could even do voiceovers for it yourself if you wanted to. And people obviously did mod the game in a way which I do approve of. They modded the game not to cheat or anything like that, but people modded it like they turned the sci-fi deck into looking more like the Enterprise and had like Star Trek uniforms that you could use for people, because you could put different armors and keep actors in those armors and have them set for the series. It was fun as fuck. I had great fun with that. And you could also do like tricks, like take scenes, remove actors, and just cut off a scene and place a next scene as a response. And I did that when I made like a Power Ranger series, because I had one where it was like this guy walking dramatically, and I just had him in the middle of nowhere doing it. But I changed the camera. I think it was the camera I changed, so it looked more like it was looking up at him. And it was like, no, the monster's grown. And then I got them to summon a big monster, and I had those two fight scenes. It was fun as fuck. If you got a chance, it's made by Lion's Head. Check out the movies and movie stunts and effects expansion pack. PC.
Nice.
That takes us to, and I believe this may be Richter's favorite category, hack and slash.
Yay.
And since you are the expert at this one, would you like to take us away with hack and slash, Richter?
Okay. This one was actually really hard for me to choose. And I'm not quite sure if this counts as a hack and slash. If not, I have a backup. But Phantasy Star Online, I don't know if it's exactly hack and slash, but it's, Do you think that counts, or?
It might count. What's your backup in case?
My backup is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on PS2.
Nice.
It was like the first style of, it's basically like that Diablo view, but it showed that you could do it on a controller, and it has hence been copied several times. Even the people that developed it made a sequel, and then they also, I believe, made Champions of Norath, which is also an awesome game.
Cool.
But yeah, Dark Alliance, I guess I'll go with that one then. That was, like I said, my first foray into at least that, Diablo style on a console. I guess, it was one of the early ones anyway. But that game was really cool because you had like the 5 different characters and all the crazy stuff you could do. And my wife and I went through that, I think, with every character at some point. But that also getting a used copy of that. They need a digital version, because used copies on PS2 for a long time were like always $30. Like I bought it at launch and I was like, wow, I could like sell it and make most of my money back. Not like I would, but I was like, it's one of those games where it held its value for a long time.
I will say I hate used copies on PS2. PS2 or before, but from PS2 and before, I hate on discs. I hated it because they weren't scratch resistant, and over here, game would be like, we can't take games if they're scratched, but when they sold them, they're scratched like fuck. It looked like fucking Freddy Krueger's been stroking it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck? But why would you? And once I even looked at the game, went out to this is scratched as fuck. I took it back. I went, hello, this game's scratched as fuck. Would you be able to swap it for one that's not, please? And they're like, sorry, we don't take games in that condition. I was like, I've got a receipt. I literally just bought this 2 seconds ago and looked outside.
Wow.
And they're like, really? That was scratched like that here? Oh, we don't know what's happened. Someone must have brought their own disc in. I was like, really? Someone brought their own disc in and put it in the back where only employees can go. No.
Just swap it. Yeah, well, like when I worked at a game store, sometimes people would ask to see the disc, and sometimes you're like, oh geez, but like a lot of times, that actually helps. If like I understand why they did it, so I was never like rude to them. But I was like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll pop out all the discs because you'd already checked the multiple copies because yeah, they do get scratched up and oh, I hate getting stuck with those like nasty ones. It looks like someone was like, huh, this looks kind of dusty. I'll clean it with steel wool, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
What made you think that was a good idea?
Well, the game said
The same
Captain
guy-
America on it. Why can't my kid throw it around like a shield?
Frick, it's the same guy who literally put his was it Super Nintendo cartridges in the dishwasher and then called up Nintendo support and asked why his games didn't work.
Wow.
Nice, but I was going slightly off topic with that. I'm saying,
That's fine.
back to Rick.
Oh, that was the end of my part.
Like I said, that game sounds pretty fun. I did like Diablo on the consoles. I may have to check one of them out.
I would recommend it. I thought they were really good. Yeah, I would either go with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or Champions of Norath because they're both really similar, and I think
Were they both PS2?
yes.
Are they on
Yeah,
the classics so I can download it on PS3?
I don't think so. I'd have to look. Because they should. I really want them to. And it's
I don't
actually
have a PS2 anymore.
yeah. I hope they do at some point, and it's kind of weird if Champions of Norath isn't because that was basically a Sony property because it was like EverQuest characters set in an EverQuest world. Just with they basically took all the stuff from Baldur's Gate, and then it was the same like developer, so it wasn't like they just copied. It wasn't like a Chinese copy, but they actually just had the developer make it and kind of reskin it and retool it, and that was equally as good, I would say.
Ah, fair enough. And yeah, I did like EverQuest. I loved the EverQuest series. I had one of them on PS2. It was like one of the few games that actually I used the crap out of my back then, kids. You have to shove a brick in the back of your console to plug it online because how can I describe this? The air was so polluted back then that the Wi-Fi couldn't reach, so we needed to connect the tube to the device directly.
What's funny about
I want kids to actually think like that's what happened now.
I've ruined
I bet there
generation
is.
history. No, but over to Pew. That's
Alright.
hack and slash.
Okay, mine is the Dynasty Warriors.
Yay.
Which
That was I only played the 7th one, and that was
Empire
friggin'
stuff.
awesome. And that was like ridiculous. Like I love it's like you just killed like 200 dudes. Like what the fuck? Like it's like holy shit. And the weapons are like really fun. Like they're
Is how-
fucking crazy. Like they're really fun. I really just love like killing waves of people.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I love Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires. Is Hyrule out yet?
Isn't it out like at the end of this month?
Yeah, the 26th in the U.S. So
Fair enough. I was starting to see reviews
9
popping
days.
for it, so I wasn't sure.
yeah. Well, they were probably given copies. Those jerks.
Fair enough. But yeah, the Dynasty Warriors 7 was great with the canoe. We all loved the
Canoe is
canoe.
amazing.
I
Like
love
when I
the-
first saw it, I was like, "That's a canoe," and then my friend was like, "Well, because I played the Japanese demo." My friend's like, "Oh yeah, they call it arm blade in the U.S." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Have you seen the combos? Like, one of the combo enders, he like throws down a wave and jumps and surfs on it. It's a canoe. It's not an arm blade."
Yep. I liked the fact you could create your own character and how the Empire stuff worked.
Yeah.
That to me was a lot more fascinating, along with the combat. The combat wasn't shit. I just loved that bit with the management. I loved making me with an arm cannon or making Wonder Woman and shit. It was fun. But my hack and slash, I went with Lollipop Chainsaw on the PS3.
That was also
Lolli-
really fun. I literally 100% that.
Lollipop, oh lolly 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 lollipop. Da-dong, dong, dong, dong. Who doesn't like Lollipop Chainsaw? I like that game.
I literally 100% did that. Like I literally unlocked everything in that game. Every single thing in that game I have 100%ed. It was so fucking fun.
Did you play that one, Rick?
I played some of it. It's one I need to definitely play more. I did like the first 2 levels, and it is pretty cool.
It's basically Buffy the Zombie Slayer.
Yeah,
I just got
that's
sad because I missed one of the guys, like one of the people you're supposed to save,
Mhm.
and I later learned that it's like, oh, he's like really hard to save in your first playthrough. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and I will say, yeah, with like Stacey said then, which I've said to her multiple times, it's basically Buffy using the Dynasty Warriors engine against zombies.
Yeah. What's not to like?
Yeah, I mean, it has the same Buffy humor, and it's like, okay, yeah, some people would look at it and say that's sexist because of how she's acting, but when you listen to how she's done and how she's the only one that saves the world and her personality, it's not overly sexist. It's actually more tongue-in-cheek than it is
Yeah.
sexist.
And she deliberately states that she only has a relationship with one guy, and he's faithful. So that's another thing.
Yeah, she even had one relationship with him when he became a head, which she carried around on him.
Yeah.
Greatest thing ever. And like when she puts his head on a body and marches forward. That's awesome. But next up, party game. Party game. Party game. Oh, sorry, I need. I'm gonna go with Pew Pew. Take us away,
Okay.
Pew Pew, with party game.
I think my favorite one is Mario Party 2, and that's the one with the costumes. Everybody gets like all adorable. My favorite map would be like the cowboy one, where everyone gets the little cowboy costumes, and Bowser would be like the outlaw, and everyone, has to compete to be the hero to stop the outlaw Bowser, and it would be so fun. It's like the most adorable like thing ever. And just like the Toad has still, collecting stars, and it's really old. On the
That's
64.
that's a massive coincidence.
Really?
Yeah, but more on that next week.
Okay. Oh my
No, I'm
god.
kidding. I'm kidding. It's not. It's not, Stace. I was kidding with that. It's not at
Uh,
all.
I'm about to say, that's a really good game. The items are great, before you could have fucking like 6 of them or something, You only got one.
I will admit it's not everyone's the same way, which is fair enough. But I've loved every Mario Party. I can't
Okay.
wait for Mario Party Wii
That's gonna be fun.
or Wii U, sorry. And okay, over to Rick. What's Richter's party choice?
Okay. I know this isn't strictly a party game, but I think it also counts. I picked Rock Band 2. Just because,
That
if you have
counts.
friends over, yeah, like, I mean, well, it's not usually classified as party game, but I think in a lot of ways it definitely is. I just don't think it's only a party game, but...
Ironically, it's listed as a party game. Over
is it?
in loads of stores, it's listed when you go by category under party and music.
Oh, wow.
So it's both music and party.
Oh, okay.
I would say if you have those friends over, you're having a party.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's like, I mean, you can have like up to 4 players. It's, like it's one of those games where like if somebody has it, you're like, hey, want to play Rock Band? And you're like, yeah, sure. And you can. I mean, it's not necessarily the easiest one, but I mean, you could just totally rock out and just have a lot of fun. And you can take it totally seriously, but you could just freaking play it. And I think I picked the second one because I think it's a little bit more friendly with some of the stuff, like with the making a band itself. It was easier to like edit stuff because I believe in the first one, I remember not being able to like change your instrument, like once you had started the stuff. And I think the second one's a little friendlier. It fixed some of the stuff, and it was just overall better.
Yeah, it did what a sequel should. They built upon what was there and then expanded it with more like, okay, look, we can't do the customization in the first one because we needed to concentrate on the gameplay. Second one, boom, we got the gameplay right. Here's a load of extra features, and it was great. I liked all of them.
Yeah,
I will say,
those games are
unfortunately, the only downside to the Rock Band games for me is a load of my favourite songs that are on there, like the old classics, are the hardest fucking songs.
Yeah.
They're like the hardest difficulty. I'm like, I don't want to have to play through all this shitty modern. I don't want to play through a shitty modern song I don't care about. It's just because it's a 1-star. Give me Aerosmith. Give me those types of bands.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to play as, I don't know, Justin Bieber. I know he's not in there, but I'm using him as an example. As he's become the face of music that sucks.
Well, I think they also, in those games, have a really good mix, where they do have modern stuff, but they also have a lot of classic stuff. And also, Harmonix, the people that make it, one of the reasons that, well, there were multiple, but one of the reasons I remember that they kind of split off from Guitar Hero when they did was that like Activision wanted them to put in more popular songs, but the way they chose songs were ones that felt fun to play. So it wasn't like if you're on the drum, it's not literally just you hitting the drum like the same drum panel every time because that's part of the song. So I thought, it's like, well, sometimes you're like, oh, I recognize this band, and you're like, I haven't heard the song, and you hear it, and you're like, wow, that was actually pretty good. And they had a good mix of stuff that was fun to play, even if you haven't heard it, and that kind of made me like some of the songs more because of that.
I could agree with that. And I had both Guitar Heroes, I had all of them, I had a load of them, and Rock Bands. The thing I liked most about Rock Band, and they did try to copy it with Band Hero, but the thing I liked about Rock Band more than Guitar Hero was Guitar Hero, you're just guitar.
Yeah.
But the other one before now, like I wasn't too good with the guitar on some of it, so I'd let Crispy do the guitar, and I'd do the singing part because I can just sing karaoke on the screen.
Yeah.
And like I've played with like my brother at the same time and other friends and stuff, and they want the drums or another guitarist bass guitar, and it's like there's more options. That's cool. Everyone gets their own little thing. Like and then like Chris becomes like the master of the lead guitar, becomes the main singer. It seems less competitive, more cooperative.
You are a good singer, so.
Yeah. So I like that. But my party game, which this does count, I went with Buzz, the big quiz on PS2.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'd played the other one before with Music Quiz, but I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest, I didn't like the Music Quiz because I'm one of those people of, okay, I may know a song, I may like a band or something, but I don't remember like a load of facts to do with which singer's dating whom and where Kanye West's dick's been this week. It's like
I know it's not, but I want that to be a category in the game. Even better because I don't know when that came out. I'm assuming like earlier 2000s or something, but like you'd have to remember back then.
Yeah, on the exact week at the patch.
On March 20th, 2006, where was it? And you're like, how he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
There's something similar with the Ask Jack thing, with the head.
Yeah. With the Buzz,
literally like upper half of a head that just says like Ask Jack, and he just asks popular questions or whatever.
Yeah, but with the Buzz Big Quiz, there was more variety to the questions. Like you'd have like some people I know would be better at the sport, like football or something like that, so they take sport. I'm better with like movies, TVs and stuff, so I'd take that. Other people may take culture or you know what I mean, just various categories, and it's great, and it's a great environment. And you got these buzzers that you could click on top to buzz in, different colors. They did different segments, so it felt like a game show, like you could pie your friends and stuff. It was just a blast, and they brought out one on PS3 later on, and it's still fucking a blast on PS3. Sadly, it's a rip-off now on PS3, because I went to look at one of the games the other day to try and buy it for someone, because I've still got the buzzers on PS3, thank God. On Amazon, the buzzers, over £100 because they don't make them anymore, and you need them to play the game. They were like 30 when they came out.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I said, I liked Buzz, and the host is awesome. Like if you kept getting a question wrong, he would berate the living shit out of you. Like if you got a question wrong, he'd be like, "Oh, you got one wrong again, did you? Don't worry, this game's not for everyone." And it's just he just make like when you vote, he goes, "Oh, such a like player 3 is answering. Everyone, get ready to laugh." And you're like, "What the hell?" And he'd remember on some of them, like on the PS3 one more than the PS2 one, he'd remember what you did. So he'd remember your past experiences too. So when you went on there, if you constantly had lost a load of matches, he'd remember, oh, here you are, you're famous for losing. And if you've won a lot, he's always proud of you, but at the same time, he also sometimes suspects you're cheating, and it's fun. Yeah, I like that. But the next one.
Fun.
Yep. And the next category is spaceship shoot 'em up.
Okay.
So, take us away, Richter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you went first with party. I'm alternating between you, so I don't have favourites, even though it's Rick.
Yay! But this was another one. I didn't have as hard a time as hack and slash just because I love me some spaceship shoot 'em ups, shmups. Even though I don't like that term, that's what people call them. So I went with Parodius. It's basically the people that made Gradius just having fun with the game. So you know, like where Gradius, it's like, oh, you're in a spaceship and you're fighting, I don't know, aliens. Like they don't really have big plots. But in Parodius, you like one of the bosses is a giant mermaid, and like her attack are like basically her speech letters she's throwing at you, and you like shoot her in the face, and then she like gets all sad when you shoot her. And one of the characters is that you can play as is like a baby who flies around, and his like shot basically are little bottles, and like as you power it up, he gets like more bottles that he throws out. And it has like crazy characters, and one of which is he has a name. I think it's Aitsu, but I always call him Paper Airplane Man. It's like a stick figure who is standing on a paper airplane, and that's your ship that you shoot. And he's his bomb power up. He'll drop like other stick figure dudes, so they just fall and like bounce off the ground. It's funny. And his shield, because you can get different power ups. Basically, one thing I'll get to that in a second. But his shield power up that allows you to take a hit. Like when I first saw it, I was like, is that really a condom? And yes, it is. It's a condom that's in front of him. But so I don't know what that character does in Japan, but it's funny. But one thing I like too is that for power-ups, you basically get a power-up bubble, and it will just there's like a little bar at the bottom that has all the power-ups on it, and when you pick up a bubble or whatever, it'll move the icon one over or to the right. And so there's nothing highlighted, and then you pick it up, and then the first one's speed, and then there's like power and spread, and you can only have one of those, and missile or bomb. But it's kind of cool because you can pick which power-ups you want based by how long you hold onto the thing. It'll buy theoretically better ones, although speed is like the first one, and you kind of need it. But it's just cool that you can like play it differently. Like you can have one character, but you might choose missiles and a spread shot instead of like the concentrated attack. And I think it's cool. And they had a lot of characters, and it was a really fun game.
Nice.
Although sadly not. It's not really available in English though. That's the only downside. Is they basically, well, I played it before, but it was on Super Nintendo. And I think there's like also a Saturn version or something, but this would be harder to pull off nowadays. But if anyone has a PSP, you could get an import copy of it was basically the Proteus collection, which had like all 4 games or something on it on one UMD. So I totally did that because I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I miss being able to I like multi-region consoles.
Yeah, I know. Stupid 3DS.
But
And well, I guess portable-wise. Otherwise, it's like every home console. Jerks.
PS3,
Oh yeah, that's true. Which is awesome.
and I believe Xbox One now, and PS4.
Oh, is the Xbox One? That would. Oh yeah, they did say that. I just don't think there would be any amazing Japanese exclusives, considering Japan apparently is not interested in non-Japanese consoles.
Oh,
The
I will
jerks.
say that's something that came out recently in the news that annoyed the crap out of me. Batman Arkham is exclusive in Japan on PS4 only, not on Xbox One. What the fuck? And a load of the fans that bitched when Tomb Raider was exclusive had no complaints because it's Sony.
Wow.
And I'm like, really? You're gonna have that problem?
It's like, really? You're gonna be like that? Go to your room.
They're like, no, I don't see a problem because it's not exclusive here. And I'm like, okay. Okay, we're done.
Get out.
Yeah, well, on the plus side, at least Japanese people could import the American one if they can speak English, but it's still not, that's still not an excuse. But over to Pew.
I really like the Rezo gun from PS4. I played that a whole lot, and I love like how it's like it talks to me, like save the humans, and that scared the shit out of me the first time I played it. My controller started talking to me. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Because I wasn't expecting that. And, yeah, but it's really fun. It's kind of like, I don't know. I guess it's a weird thing to say, but the way people are set up is kind of like uh, maybe a bit of Space Invaders. It feels like a bit of Alleyway where you have to like bounce across the freaking people because you have to catch them or whatever. And it's like a bouncy ball going across. It's like a whole combination of things, and it's really fun.
I will say
Like ships and
I've
stuff.
I will say I've played that game. I've got that game. I will say, well, personally, I wasn't overly fussed at the gameplay, but I don't really like this genre too much. I loved the fact you could create your own fucking ship.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a TARDIS.
Nice,
Of course,
you got your retardus.
retarded.
But no, you can. I don't know if you've got that on, or if you've seen that Richter on PS4, where you
I've
can
seen a
create
little
your
bit
own
of it.
ship. Yeah, when you
I
when
yeah.
you get the PS4, you need to get that game because you can download characters other people have made. Like I got a perfect Sonic the Hedgehog. Pew Pew downloaded the TARDIS. You could get like a Mega Man or something.
Nice. Yeah, they gave that out for Plus, so when I get a PS4, I can play that game.
Nice. I will say my favourite shoot 'em up of all time. I know this is cliched. I went with Space Invaders.
There you go.
Because it's one of those games that, I'm sorry, I can always sit down and play Space Invaders and have a blast. And anyone of any age, like I've actually had like my little nephew and I've got him to play Space Invaders and he loved the crap out of it. Older people like Space Invaders, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that in general. It's just fun. It's just a fun blast overall.
It is.
And I will say I seem to be echoing through someone. Not all the time. Just every now and again I hear like a I'm in my voice.
Maybe your voice is so powerful it's transcending time and space.
I doubt that, but still. Anyway, but yeah, I went with Space Invaders for my one, and then that's on multiple systems.
Yeah.
And I've played it on multiple systems. I can't even remember which one I played it on first. Probably NES or SNES or something like that. But I like Space Invaders. It's fun. I do not like avoid. If you're listening, avoid the Space Invaders PS2 game where they turned it into like a behind the shooter type thing. I don't know, with people. That was stupid. But over to Pew Pew now because we're gonna do best crossover. Crossover. Pew Pew crossover.
Oh, sorry, my thing was muted. Sorry, I kept yelling at this.
It's like everyone from Jim's area is incapable of listening to a podcast.
We have a mute cloud coming in from. Sorry.
No, but like I was like yelling at my computer, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. So my neighbors are probably like, what the fuck's going on?
She's yelling, "Computer, answer!"
Yeah, I was yelling, Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, that was my like, cause it's Disney and like Final Fantasy together, and I think it's super awesome. It totally works.
Fair enough. I would say that's not a great example of a crossover. Only because Final Fantasy is used as an afterthought in that game.
Yeah.
It needs more Final Fantasy mixed in there if they were going to do it right. But Kingdom Hearts is a great game. I did play all through 1.5 and stuff. Looking forward to 2.5. Whoop.
Yep. Whoop whoop.
And when 3 comes out, I'll wait and get 3.5. Whoop.
Whoop.
Okay, no, I'll get 3. But fair enough. What did Richter have as his favorite crossover?
I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, even though I had it for
Close.
not I had it for I don't know some fighting game, and I was like competitively it sucks if you fight someone that's good, but it's just if you play it for fun, that game's awesome, and it really wasn't the first crossover, but in a lot of ways it's the most well known. I almost went with Namco Cross Capcom just because I like that game, but I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 does it really well because it's even within Capcom, this Capcom site itself, it has lots of crossovers. But I think that had a really.
Oh, sorry, I said I'm surprised. That was all.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
thought you were going with that Project Cross Zone or whatever it was called.
Well, I like Project Cross Zone, but I think Namco Cross Capcom, which is like the one before it, I think I would go with that one over that just because that was like the first one, if that makes sense, of that kind of type of game. I don't necessarily think it's a better game, but I think that it did it first. But I don't know. For me, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is always like the like height of like that's a crossover game. Like I felt like most characters were done fairly respectably, and didn't, even though Cable was hella overpowered, but it didn't feel like they intentionally nerfed it. And I think it's a fun game, and it's really, to me, like the height of the Marvel fighting games. So I went with that.
It's even better than Rise of the Imperfects.
By a narrow margin. I played a demo of that game, and I don't even remember how it played. I just remember I played a demo in a store, and I was like, "This is not fun."
I'm gonna say, in terms of playing, that game didn't play too badly. It was playable-ish. To a certain degree, it was playable. It's not the most broken game I've ever played. However, I hated that game just because the first cutscene starts by murdering half of the Marvel universe. And then the whole game is telling you these imperfects who have the same powers as the heroes you loved are actually better than the Marvel heroes. I'm like, I don't want a game that tells me the thing I love is shit.
Well, I just remember when they were showing characters for it, it was one of those things that I don't like, where it's like, hey, Marvel? And you're like, yeah, it's like, who's your favorite Marvel hero? And you're like, oh, this guy. And they're like, cool, he's not in this game. It's like, here's these new people you made up. And it's like, okay, I'm fine with new people, but can't we, we want to play some of the old people. There's a reason we like them. Why can't you put them in a game? Like, no, too bad.
Yeah, I will say I understood the reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reasoning was when they sold off their rights to the film studios who were making Hulk and stuff like that, different game companies had the rights to different characters. However, it did suck. Although, yeah, you had Venom, but it sucked. It did suck. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't want to play as an imperfect, generic, what do you call it, superhero. I just wanted to play as a decent superhero. I just wanted to play as the ones I liked. That was it. But I said it was close, and the reason I said it was close is because the one I went with was Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter.
Nice.
I believe the Marvel v Capcom games did do a lot of stuff better in terms of the fighting games. I thought the second one is definitely the best in the Marvel v Capcoms. In my opinion, Marvel v Capcom, as Marvel v Capcom, it would go, in terms of best, it would go second best, then it would go first as second, and third all the way to the last. But with this one, I liked it because it still had on PS1 it was good. It had the Street Fighter-like fighting style, which I love, but I prefer Street Fighter to I do a lot of Capcom. If that makes sense. So it was a game where every character I actually gave a shit about. Because I hate to say this because I'm not sure if it's going to offend anyone, but some of the Marvel v Capcom games I've gone Capcom, it's been like, who the fuck's that? Oh, they're from that series I've never played. Don't give a shit.
Also, I think it was Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, where wait, was that the? Oh no, it was X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Never mind. Sorry. Where they did Rogue, they did Rogue right, where she actually took a power from them. Where I didn't like that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where they're just like, no, she gets a generic power up. No, I like it that she could steal the Hadouken or the Shoryuken.
She should be like Kirby.
Yeah, and it was just cool to see her doing a flaming uppercut. You're like, that's badass.
It was. And now I believe it's Richter, because I believe Stacey went with crossover. So Richter. Favorite music game?
All right. So I went with Dance Dance Revolution, fourth or fifth mix. I can't remember which one because they've had so many. Huh?
I'm surprised you went with a Dance game. I never saw that coming.
Yeah, those games are awesome. I remember I didn't play them a whole lot, especially in the arcade, because I'm allergic to looking like an idiot, and I totally do when playing those games. But like in the arcade, she was my girlfriend at the time, but my wife and I would like we would just watch the games and they're just like, oh, and whenever they'd pick, the songs we like, we're like, yeah, and we would just watch people play it because they were a lot better than we were. But it had really good songs. I have the soundtrack somewhere to that because I really like the songs in it. And I did play the home version because I was way more comfortable. And usually what I would do was I would pick the hardest song on the hardest difficulty in like no fail mode, and I would just do that. And that was actually a really good workout because it had like a calorie counting mode where it would track how many like calories you burned.
Nice. Yeah, the Dance games are good. The only reason I was surprised I didn't think you were going to take a Dance game was just because of when you took the Rock Band 2 before. I was like, okay, it's probably going to be Rock Band 2 again.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I thought of
Dance.
that, but yeah.
It's like, what? I never saw that coming.
Yeah, well, like I do like Rock Band, and I actually had that for music for a while, but I was like, well, if I put that as party, I can take something else for music, and I was tempted for Parappa because that game's awesome too, or Bust a Groove, amazing, or that too. But also another one, Bust a Groove was freaking awesome. I don't think anyone's played that though, but no, just I don't know. DDR was. It was like the shit back in the day. Yeah.
That was huge. When I was younger, that was when I was in my like late teens-ish, more so earlier teens. But like, so I'm gonna say about 2000 to like early 2000s for me, at least over here, it became massive, and like every fucking arcade had one. And everyone would always go on one and start to do the dance things. And I was the same as you, and someone would be like, go on, have a go. I'm like, no, I don't want to look like a twat.
But and when you see those people that like show off in the game, where they do the double mode, where it's on both pads, and they like do a routine, that stuff's like really fun to watch.
It is. It is, but they should have had a mode in there just for me, for how I actually dance in real life, where it's got a camera, I click a button, I just stand perfectly still, bobbing my head to the tune.
They should make a Connect game that does that, where like it just reads your head movement and you just like
bob to the tune. It's like this is the man dance.
Yes.
We've all done that.
Yeah, they should call it man dance. That's what it is. Sometimes you like turn your head to the side and do it. It's like combos continuing.
Man Dance Revolution from the same people, same tunes, but now you just nod your head to the tune.
Yes.
And if you dance a little bit, you lose man points. If you move too stylish, you lose man points.
And for the announcer, they get like Kevin Conroy or something. Just like, yeah, you show him. He's like, that's a fucking man combo. Like, it's just ridiculous, like overly.
Or the Mortal Kombat guy. So when you complete it, dance-tality. Flawless manality.
Oh man, and they could sell like DLC for different announcers, like The Rock. We just made the greatest terrible game ever.
Congratulations, you just bought Andy Dick. The second you use it, that's like the poison mode on God of War. Your health starts to always drain. You have to be extra managed, like hold a beer in one hand, a cigarette in the other, and just keep nodding to just keep up the tune.
It's like, you're not wearing a wife beater shirt. You're like, oh crap. There's no stains on that. Did you clean that? No, I'm sorry.
You're still losing man points. You need to prove you're a man. That's when Richter starts to have sex with his wife in front of the camera. Wait, she also seems to be enjoying this. You're losing man points. You're thinking about her needs, lots of points.
Yes.
But I forgot where we are now. Music game. Over to you.
Okay, I'm glad you had me next because I also had a DDR game as a music game. I had DDR, and it was called like DDR like 2, the second one, and it was orange. So if you look at the box, it's DDR 2, the orange one. I just called it the first one.
I thought you would have taken the Disney one.
Yep.
I kind of wanted the Disney one.
But like, yeah, I was super awesome. No, this one is super. Like, I got so good at it. Oh my god, I could like freaking do like all the crazy shit. And me and my
Nice.
my best friend's brother, he was probably the best. And he, oh my god, he would fucking do shit like backwards, not even looking at the screen, 'cause he like memorized the fucking arrows or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do you even do that?
Have you told your friend that brother's gay?
He's really not gay though. Like, he's allergic to everything, but he's not gay.
Oh,
I was kidding. I was kidding, Pew Pew. I
did
was
you,
kidding, and there wouldn't be anything wrong if he was. I was just a joke based on our man dance thing before.
did you, that reminds me of the joke that Daniel Tosh did one time in one of his stand-up things. He's like, he says something about DDR, and then at the end he's like, then you do really well, and it's like, congratulations, you're gay. And he's like, that's no way for a third grader to find out.
Yeah.
And I was like, the game doesn't do that, but that would be funny. It just reminded me of that when you're like, he's really good at it. Does he know he's gay?
Yeah.
And I'm probably a horrible person for laughing at that. But...
Yeah, like that's when you take it to a whole nother level. We don't even have to look at the goddamn screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, the Dance games do seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
My one, I took Lego Rock Band
Nice.
on PS3 because I love that game. It's got all this fun stuff of, the Rock Band stuff, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have the element of you can't fail as much, so you can get to the harder songs. There's extra like things you can just tweak to make yourself better at whatever the hell you're doing, like or make it easier for you.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're not that good at them, the kids can play it too. The downside is not every song can be used on it because you can import songs from like Rock Band 1 and Rock Band 2, but only if they're PG. However, it has Lego Freddie Mercury, and he gets abducted by aliens. Because Queen's in the game. I'm like, this is awesome. And all the videos when you're playing it, it's all animated with Lego. Like you can have like Lego people dancing to Ghostbusters, which yes, that was the tune we played the most. There was also, and you could import like, the other songs. I just not get them. And the ones I did, like the Lego one, like special events where it's like, oh, you had to sing the song to do well enough so it was powering the truck that you were on. So as you're doing in the band, it's like, I really feel like someone's watching me. As you see like this monster chasing you in a truck. It's fun as fuck.
Nice.
If you've got the Rock Band stuff, pick that game up. I beg you, pick that game up. I'm not sure if you have the Rock Band stuff on PS3.
No, I not on PS3. I did want Lego Rock Band, but I could never like. One of the somewhere around here, it got like super cheap at Best Buy, but I could never like find a copy, and I'm like, no, I want it.
Yeah, it was a shame it didn't come with the stuff because I would have liked it if it come bundled with like a Lego guitar and a Lego drums and a Lego mic. But I already bought the Beatles version of Lego Rock Band, and not because. Beatles version of Rock Band, I should say. Not because I'm a massive Beatles fan. Oh, you're English, you must love the Beatles. I don't. That one was on sale here for like 40, 50 quid, while the regular one wasn't. And this one had the complete drums and everything in it, so I bought it for that shit. Sold off the game after I had saved it so I could import it, and then got Rock Band 1 and 2 and stuff and went that way.
Nice.
But that was my choice. So next up, I believe it's Pew Pew for kids game.
Kids game. I had Scribblenauts. That is like a really fun game. It's almost not even a kids game because like people who are adults can enjoy it as well. But it's also good for kids to learning how to spell shit because it'll help you out. You can learn how to read or like anything like that, and it'll also help you a lot.
I don't know if it allows you to spell shit though.
Oh, not like obviously.
I know what you mean. I just
that game is also really dark and evil if it's in the hands of someone like me. As I believe I showed Stacey the picture of it when I did it on Steam. That was the game where I gave like a policewoman a gun and then gave her a description suicidal and watched as she killed herself.
It can also be really dark and perverted because one of my friends, what they did was you can animate objects. So basically what he did was he did a bunch of flesh-colored, I guess, like rectangles or whatever, and he gave them the animation of a hose. It was wiggling back and forth, and it was squirting water at the top. So basically, he just made a giant dancing penis that like hypnotizes women into dancing next to it.
Well.
You even had like the balls and everything. It was just ridiculous. And I'm looking at it like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing ever.
Nice.
I would say though, if a child can spell suicidal, then I think they're okay putting that in the game. They'll probably understand. But also, if a child could figure out how to animate the hoses like that, you just got to let that go and be like, wow, you figured that out. Good job.
Yeah, you figured out anatomically. Good job.
It was really difficult because you have to like animate each object because to make it the right wiggle, you have to put like a bunch of rectangles on top of each other and like think if you press this, it does this, and hypnotize and has all these other things. But the fact that he did it and it hypnotizes women and he just walk around with this thing that just keeps gathering women,
Yeah.
Like, has, like, a cord.
I will say the fact you can do suicidal, or the fact you can make someone nude, or you can make people have giant penises, or like PP mentioned. I would say that's not an insult to the game either, because you get anything that's creative in which an adult using it, they think differently to a child, like Minecraft. I've seen people make pornographic images in Minecraft, whereas I've seen children go and make like a nice Ferris wheel and like a fun ride and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all about how you use the game, but I still think it's really good for kids because of spelling and stuff.
I do too, and it also helps them think, because you have to think outside the box-ish. To a certain degree, not like Monkey Island outside the box, but you have to think out, like, how do I solve this? So it's like problem-solving skills mixed with vocabulary skills.
Yeah, that's also true.
And sadly, not everyone can be killed by making them nude. I figured that out after level 3. I have that game twice.
Cool.
I have on the Scribble Notes Unlimited. I have it twice. Once on Steam. Then I stopped buying them because it wasn't released in the UK. Then when they finally released Unlimited, which fuck you, because I didn't. It was at the time America got unmasked. I want unmasked. God damn it. Basically, I got the Wii U version when it came out here too, because the Wii U one also has Mario and Link and Ganondorf and shit. And you can put Link and Ganondorf, type in the words, put them side by side, and they'll fight to the death. Which is fun. Although I don't understand one problem with that one though, with the Nintendo one. It says she needs something sharp, so I typed in Master Sword, and I placed in a hand. That didn't work. I took that away and I put in sword and gave her a regular sword, and it worked. I'm like, oh come on, how is a regular sword better than a Master Sword?
Well, I think the Master Sword is Gene locked Link.
Yeah, or it's just completely decorative within that game. But what did Richter have for kids game?
It's not strictly a kids game, but I went with Minecraft.
To be fair, you can count that.
Yeah,
I think the best kids games aren't strictly for kids.
Yeah. But I mean, I have 2 children playing it right this minute, and it's, you could just do so much in that game. He'll spend hours just building towers out of sand for no reason. You can do so much, and there's really nothing questionable in the game. It's fun for everybody. That's true. Once you get twisted adults in there, but I don't know. That game is just really fun, and you could play it with them, and they can play it by themselves. And like I said, you could just do anything. You just give yourself a project, and you're sitting there, and you're. They kind of, and also it has, little things that you kind of learn, like where you put a door, and, it's like, oh, so they kind of understand that. And with redstone, if they start messing around with that, and dispensers, and they kind of inadvertently learn some, good things about that, like understanding, not exactly electric currents, but they kind of, have to think about how a current works to get redstone to work. And it's just kind of neat, and thinking about how to put in, just how to use it, and what are they called? Pistons and stuff like it. That's a really good game for children to play, I think.
I'm mildly impressed.
It's basically them playing with Lego blocks and building their own world. That's how creative it is. But at the same time, I'm going to say it teaches them stuff in a great way, because there's been cases in America, and I'm not making this up, you can look this up, of like an 8-year-old boy who got lost in the woods. They found him a couple of days later, and he learned what he'd done from Minecraft, and he gathered up wood and built a shelter and shit. Because he learned it in and he said he only knew that from Minecraft. He wasn't a scout or anything, but he learned it because Minecraft told him, get wood, that builds shelter.
Nice.
Oh, I was gonna say that someone actually learns that ham comes from a pig. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know that and learned that from Minecraft.
You do?
I was just gonna say, Richter, I'd be super impressed if your kids could master the command block, you know? Then I'd be like, holy shit, just shut up and take my money.
I've been building on Minecraft because I've recently just got upgraded to the PS4 as well, and I have tweeted a picture of my stained glass Jesus.
Nice.
Because I made a church. Oh, unfortunately, we don't have stained glass on the PS3 one, so what I had to do was, and this took me long, I used 3 blocks. Middle block, I built it out different coloured walls. Then I put glass over the top of that to give the illusion it was a stained glass, so you just couldn't really see out of.
Nice.
Yep. But kids game, I went with Lego Marvel.
Woo! I agree with that.
I love the Lego games, and I know the kids that come here and stuff. They love the Lego games, and every Lego game I think learns from the past. Now, some of them in recent years have been more glitched, but then that stopped right before Lego Batman 2. Lego Batman 2 then introduced voice acting and stuff, and then they took all the stuff we learned from Star Wars, Lego Batman and stuff, they put that in Marvel, and boom, now you got big figs and other stuff, and it's like, that's kind of cool. So right now, it's like, if you ask me this next year, it might be Lego Batman 2, or 3, sorry, Lego Batman 3. But right now, Lego Marvel is brilliant. I loved it. And like, yeah, you got Venom, and you got like big fig Venom as well, and little fig Venom, and Hulk, and you could smash shit. You could like use Hulk to open up blocks, and the voice acting is so fun. And that Netflix animated movie is wonderful, which doesn't really count, but it's wonderful. Lego Marvel on PS3. Not sure if either one of you two like that.
I love it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Fair enough. And sports game. So Stacy, I believe, because Richter went with kids game, didn't he?
You know, I'm a crazy sports game addict. You know, I can't get enough sports games. So sports game.
You could buy a football team.
What about a football team?
Nothing. I didn't imply you had sex with your entire high school football team.
Oh, I don't even know who the football team was.
I know, you didn't ask for that.
Oh, sure. Whatever. Okay, so Mario Baseball Superstar.
Nice.
That's my sports game, because sports is best when Mario does it for me. Because then I can actually like spend more than 5 minutes not caring.
Fair enough.
Yes, but it's baseball is freaking great, and you get your like super moves and everything, so that's fun. Because I like to think it's not really cheating, because it's like the carding thing. So I could like hit a ball, but I also fucking like send monsters and shit at you while I'm hitting it. So like, you're really not gonna catch it.
I did like the one on Wii. Super Sluggers or whatever it was, where it's like Wii Baseball and it used all that. I did like that stuff. That was my real big quality one. What did Richter have for sports game?
I had Mutant League Football. I think it's the only sports game where I played it, you know, more than, well, I guess, well, maybe not, but I played that a lot. More than just about any other sports game, and that one's just awesome because it's, you know, it still follows the rules, but it puts such a unique spin on it that we still haven't even really seen today. I mean, like, it's weird that it wasn't copied, because I guess maybe it didn't do that well. I don't know. I mean, the closest they're like the Blitz games that Midway made, but you know, Mutant League Football. Yeah.
You could also possibly argue Blood Bowl. Even though I know Blood Bowl came out first in terms of the figures, but the game itself, when they made it in real time.
Yeah, I hadn't played it, so I mean, I played the actual one with the miniatures, but I hadn't played the video game version yet.
Uh,
But
you
yeah,
play
yeah, there's definitely similarities there. But yeah, it's that game was cool because you got like people like aliens and zombies and skeletons and stuff, and you had crazy power-ups like you could fart and explode guys or throw dynamite. And still, one of my favorite things to this day is that you could bribe the ref. And so like you would do it, and like they would, so like you'd go and the ref would flag, and you're like, what? And it's like you lose 5 yards for blowing kisses. And you just look at your friend and you're like, you just bribed the ref, and they're just like, I don't know. And so then there was also an option to counter that called kill ref, where you would kill him, but it would, then that would also cost you 5 yards. So if they used bribe ref, they would get at least 10 yards, or they'd get 15 if you decided to kill, or if you let, because they would do three calls against you, so you'd lose 15 yards. But I just thought that was kind of neat that they were like, screw it, you can bribe the ref, and it was like just a command in the menu, or like in the where you select the play. It was just bribe ref. You can only do it, I think, like once per half or whatever, but that game is just really fun.
Yeah, I also like the fact that character. I don't remember the characters' names, but there was one that could sort of do the sonic spin and go boom into another player, and when he sliced through him, it would look like it fucking killed him because you'd slice him in two, and you'd get the thing of and the other player would get the thing of your player's been injured. I'm like, really injured?
Well, yeah, that happened when you hit him with dynamite, too. It'd be like, this guy is injured. You're like, well, yeah, he was a skeleton, and he got hit with an explosive. I'm pretty sure he's dust.
And we did talk a little bit before we went to do the sports game. And we did agree this does count because they do list it as sports games, sports entertainment. I went with WWF No Mercy on the N64.
That is a very good choice.
I mean, come on, it's the game where you got to customize everyone on the roster with something you still can't do to this day properly, besides superstar threads. Although it's improving with superstar heads, but you used to be able to go into, like, say, Kane and take off his mask, which is the first fucking thing I did, and he just had a pitch black face. I'm like, damn you! I wanted to see what he looked like. Then I put the mask back on. But then you could do some crazy fun, like, ladder matches and stuff like that, but at the gameplay was great, and it had like a never-ending story mode with text and stuff. It repeated, but you didn't care because sometimes it'd repeat with different people in the storyline, and it's like it's fun, and it didn't repeat like straight away like some games do. It repeated within a while, and everything with No Mercy just felt great. The only problem I had with it, which wasn't the game's fault-ish, was the save glitch.
Oh?
The first few copies a load of the copies of the game when it first came out, when you saved, you'd go back onto your game and it didn't keep the save.
Ooh.
And that pissed me off when you sent it away and you got a replacement cartridge.
Right.
But that was made by the people who did WWF WrestleMania, WCW vs NWO, and stuff like that, which they were just great games. They were really fun, great games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good choice because that No Mercy I think is the height of the wrestling games. That one's awesome.
Yeah, I love No Mercy. I really wish they'd make a HD version of No Mercy. Because I'm sorry, if they made No Mercy now on, say like they took the No Mercy game and engine and stuff and everything on it, and just put all the new superstars on it and released it as a PSN download game, I'd buy the shit out of it.
Yeah, I would buy that too.
But
fun.
Next up, Reboot with Richter Hammer.
Okay, so for Reboot, I went with Fallout 3. Just because that game is fun. I know I say that a lot, but it also has two of the best, well, one of the best, I don't know, I guess it counts as a weapon, and one of the best power-ups, I guess you could say, in it. I almost picked these for categories later. But, because it had the VATS combat system, which, yeah, I know some people are like, oh, that makes it easy. I want to aim the attacks myself. You could do that, but VATS was awesome because it would like show you the body parts and the percent to hit, and it was just cool. It made it like it made it very RPG. Like you could, you still had time to like, pick where you were gonna hit them and, plan out your attacks and stuff. You could make it, even though it was like a more actiony, you could still kind of, at least you could kind of emulate turn-based. And I kind of wish VATS was in more games. Like it's just fun, and it makes it very cinematic. So like it would do like dramatic slow mo when you're shooting them, and they're like running at you. And it had the
in slow motion.
Yeah. And it has the yeah.
You have the extra gore pack on. You see like more eyeballs than the person has, like exploding out into like oblivion. Because I had the extra gore. And I'm like, wait, 3 eyeballs are coming out of this dude. He had 2. Like.
Yeah, the bloody mess perk. That was amazing. I mean, it gave you a 5% damage increase. Who cares? I would choose it because when you kill a guy, they explode into blood and guts, and it's hilarious. Like that's really the purpose for it. They just give it the damage bonus so you don't feel like a psychopath taking it. But that was just awesome, and like that game was really cool. And I think it maybe loosely ties in with the other ones, but it's a very different style. Like the other ones were more top-down point-and-click games. This one was like first-person, and it was a lot more like Morrowind and Oblivion. And that I was kind of worried, like, oh, it's just Oblivion with guns. People kept saying before it came out, and it's like, well, I could see how that'd be good. And it came out, and I'm like, besides it looking very brown, this game is really cool.
Yep. Ironically, that's the reason I bought the game. I bought the game because everyone was like, it's Oblivion with guns, which it was, but that's not a bad thing. I don't know why that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's like saying Street Fighter is just fucking Mortal Kombat without gore. It's like, so? It's still a good game, or the combat's vastly different. But I'm making a bad example, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, 'cause I liked Oblivion and Morrowind and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was just the internet. It's the internet. They'll get mad about anything.
Yep. And usually at the wrong things, too.
Yes.
But what did Pew Pew take?
For my, I had to take the same thing as Rick. We said this before, but I took Fallout 3. Because that was like, I can't tell you how, like, I love this game so freaking much. And I don't know about you, but like when you got your dad back, I literally walked to Rivet City from there because I wanted to spend every single second I possibly could. And when he died, I was like, no, fuck you, Dr. Ling or whatever the fuck your name is. I could stop him. There's like 4 guys. I could take him. I could save him. And so, no, we have to go. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. And I literally stayed there. And then, like, I had to fucking leave, and it pissed me off that I had to leave my dad there. And I was almost crying. Like, literally, that's how attached I was. Like, or like, in the game. And I was just like, no! But I was kind of happy when you got to the base or whatever, and Professor Lee was like, you open up these goddamn fucking gates right now! I joined Doom! I walked this many miles to get this place! And she was fucking pissed, and it was great. But man, I was so emotionally invested in that game. Everything about it. And I love 3 Dog, man. 3 Dog is so amazing.
3 Dog, ow!
He's so cool! Oh my god, he's so fucking awesome! I want something like him to exist in real life.
There you go.
Like,
fair enough. For my reboot, I went with Castlevania Lords of Shadow on PS3. It's worth mentioning I almost took Tomb Raider. But while I may not have played much of the original Castlevania, I think I played like 1 or 2 of them back in the day, but I can't remember much to do with them. I just loved this series, and it was a great chance to jump into a series I wanted to know. The gameplay was fun as fuck, and the story was great. Like, you play as Gabriel Belmont, and spoiler alert, you become Dracula, and it's a fucking great. You get to see the downfall. You get to see a hero rise up and then fall straight back down and become arguably one of the biggest villains that's ever been in anything ever. That's brilliant. I love that. Castlevania Lords of Shadow on PS3.
Nice.
Also, Picard and the guy who plays Mr. Gold on freaking Once Upon a Time. I heard that makes it pretty awesome.
Yep. Yeah, the guy who plays Mr. Gold on Once Upon a Time, or Robert Carlyle, as he likes to be known, is basically the voice of Gabriel Belmont.
I don't know people's names.
And Picard, or Patrick Stewart, as he likes to be known, is the narrator or best friend.
You can keep saying names, but you're telling me they're not the characters there. You're telling me the characters are fictional. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I was just saying it for Richter's benefit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, sequel or prequel? Best sequel or prequel? Take us away. Who went first last time? Richter, so you.
Okay, sequel or prequel? Does this count?
Oh God.
No.
It's gonna be a first game. It's never had a sequel or prequel. It's gonna be a.
Mario is
sequel.
missing.
Well, see, it's a prequel, and I think it should be because there has been games in the overall arcing line of storyness of this. Okay, The Hobbit on the GameCube. Okay, because there have been Lord of the Ring games on like PS2 or whatever, but
The Hobbit was written before Lord of the Rings.
yeah, but like it's like it came out after those other games came out, so that makes it a prequel, right?
The other games were tie-ins to the movies. The Hobbit game on GameCube was based on the book, which was actually not a prequel. It's the first. I believe that's right. What, Rick?
Yeah, Hobbit came first.
Oh, the book definitely came first, but
Yeah.
the game came out like at later than the other stuff that pertained to a further installment of the story, which is based on the movie, which is based on the book. So
That sounds like lawyers. I like that. It came out at a previous time, as pertained in the.
Yeah, but it wasn't a
The
prequel.
ultimate story universe.
It wasn't a prequel. Or a sequel.
Okay, fine. It was a sequel to.
It wasn't a prequel or a sequel, but fair enough. Pew Pew had, I don't know, Crazy Taxi. Richter.
No, The Hobbit.
Crazy Taxi 2. Okay.
That was a great platforming game. In fucking amazing collectibles.
I want them to be called that in the game.
Fucking amazing collectibles.
Yeah. Bilbo, go get the fucking amazing collectibles.
Like everywhere. It's like ridiculously like littering the entire environment, and they don't respawn, which they do with Lego, which made me mad because I can't collect them all because they keep reappearing. But in this one, they don't reappear, so I have to find them all, and it's just wonderful. It's like, oh, these treasures are mine.
You do realise the stuff you want about that kept coming back in Lego was money, and it keeps coming back so you have enough to constantly buy absolutely everything.
I know, but it bothered my ability to collect everything because it kept reappearing.
You weren't supposed to collect every bit of money. You were supposed to collect all the studs and all the kits.
But I wanted to.
So, I want Legend of Zelda to be a first-person shooter. Does that mean it should?
In the future with mech suits.
Yeah, does that mean it should?
Probably not.
But, Rick, sequel or prequel?
Okay.
Do you also have The Hobbit?
I did. No. I went with Grand Theft Auto 3. Because it might not be... I don't know. For its time, it was like amazing, and I think there are aspects of other Grand Theft Autos I might like more. But 3 was like the one that made it explode. Like that's what made it super mainstream. It was, with 1 and 2, people knew about it, but it was kind of like that. Ooh, that allows you to kill people, kind of game where it was like
you forgot London.
What? Yeah. Oh, sorry. And London.
Racist.
I know. I never played that one. I technically never played 2. I only played the first one.
You've made a powerful enemy.
I know. Did 2 come out on PC? I always remembered on PlayStation 1 on like the end cap and Target where it was like clearance for like $20.
I believe, as some people would say, it may have come out on the PC first. However, yeah, I played the original Grand Theft Autos on PS1 with a controller, as games are supposed to be played.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't saying that it came out first. I just couldn't remember if that one came out on PC.
I know, I was just saying, it did come out. I think it came out first, but I'm sorry, PS1 ones were the ones that launched the franchise to be popular. Then, as you said, the third one made it mainstream.
Yeah, that one and that was a really cool game.
And invented the genre.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Almost.
And, Well, just like because I mean, well, at least one was fun, but 3 just I don't know, just they changed their perspective and they just made magic. Like that game is really good, and there's so much crap to do, and I think that was, while it's not necessarily the most fun game in the world, I think it's like the best sequel to a game ever because it just like even just from a business standpoint of like that like catapulted Grand Theft Auto as a like an actual thing. Where like like there was 1, 2 in London, but people knew about them, but it was like more niche, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
They weren't
like,
as big.
yeah, 3 just made it like, oh, like people like my parents had heard of Grand Theft Auto 3, so.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 was the right mixture, I feel, of being okay. It felt like a whole new thing because it was a genre which I believe there was other games in the genre of the open world sandbox thing, even with crime and stuff, but they weren't that popularized the genre.
Yeah.
So it did that right. It looked fucking great. It was great to play, and it was and unlike the other ones, it was at the time when the internet was starting to be much bigger. So everyone was suddenly wanting to discuss Grand Theft Auto 3, and it made other people want to go and buy Grand Theft Auto 3.
Well, I think it also had a story. I don't remember much of a story in the first one. Like it was like they had missions and there was like text and stuff, but it wasn't like there was no overarching narrative, which I think the third one had.
It did, which I like that as well.
Yeah.
I like Grand Theft Auto 3. My sequel or prequel, I went with Alice Madness Returns on PS3. For multiple reasons. Number one, if you bought it new, on the first day it came out, it gave you the original, which was American McGee's Alice on PC. And basically, it was also I also got this as my favorite because like you mentioned, it's meant to be favorites and stuff like that. So it's like personal favorites. This is a personal favorite of mine because I didn't expect them to ever make a sequel to Alice. Then when because so many years had passed, you know what I mean? And then so many years had passed, and I was like, okay, there's not going to be a sequel. They announced it on PS3. I'm like, holy fuck, a new Alice game. And I play it, and parts of it weren't quite as good as the original, but the story is a complete 100% closure to the story and wraps up Alice's story so great. And it's like, it's everything I wanted, basically. And I was like, I'm just so happy we got that. And yay, American McGee has funded the films, as we all know, so I'll be watching them. And since they're direct to DVD and stuff, I will be reviewing them for the Gaming Zone as they're direct to DVD, so they're not anyone's territory, but they are video games. Not sure if anyone here has played any of the American McGee Alice games. Hello?
Me?
Sorry, I was muted. I caught the cloud. Yeah, I always wanted to. I kind of regret not picking it up because they had it on sale a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I kind of want that, but I didn't end up getting it. But I did want to try them.
Yeah, it's fun, and it takes the story of Alice in Wonderland, and it makes it more dark and psychotic because it turns out the reason Wonderland is tied to Alice's psyche. So when she goes to after she left Wonderland originally, basically her family then burns to death in a fire, and she goes into a mental complete mental shutdown and has to go to a mental hospital, like an asylum.
Oh, right.
So when you go to Wonderland, now everything's all twisted as fuck. It's basically, ironically, as much as I like this film, it's what the Tim Burton film should have been. I wanted the American McGee's Alice. I didn't want what we got, but as much as I liked what we got, but it was still a case of, and it's just so wonderful. And the second one, they take, because she's a little bit better in the first one, it's a little bit more fun, if that makes sense, and less the dark stuff. But the first one was still fun, but the second one did do a little bit more brighter, and you could get like different dresses that gave you powers, like a clockwork one, which is so totally steampunk Alice and stuff like that, and you got a weapon which is literally a giant like pepper pot with like a revolving wheel, like when you grind pepper.
Yeah.
But you use it like a Gatling gun. And it can shoot people, but there's also flying noses, like pig noses with wings, around the level. And if you find them, if you point the gun, wind it up, and do it, you keep doing it, and the nose then sneezes out a collectible. How is that not awesome? But yeah, but the next category is our favorite character, male. So I believe it's Richter.
Yep, I think so.
Really ironic. You got male, and with what people get next, it's perfect.
So for mine, I went with Yuri from Tales of Vesperia. Just because he's like an anti-hero, but I love him because he does like all the crap that I want heroes to do. You know, like he'll admit that he's not like a good person or anything, but like there's a guy that like steals something and he's like extorting the low citizens of the town, and when you meet him, he just kills him. He's like, the guy's like, no, please, and he's like, you could beg for your life, but you're a terrible person, and he'll just murder him. He straight up kills him. I'm like, I love you. Like, he's so awesome. And like his friend is, like has to track him down, and he's just like, it doesn't really. He's like, well, you're saying that you're mad at these people for doing bad things, but killing people's a bad thing. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, well, eventually I'll get caught too. Like I know that I will have to pay my due at some point, but I still need to do what I have to do to like fix stuff. And I'm like, that's totally awesome. Like, he's like, yeah, eventually someone will kill me, like just like I'm killing others, but I accept that. And I'm like, you're so cool. Like I thought he was always my favorite. I liked that's what really made that game for me. Like he's awesome.
Nice.
You kind of read my brain. I didn't choose Yuri, but I chose someone else from that game.
Rita is not a male. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I chose Captain Carol.
Isn't Carol a female?
No.
Okay.
Captain Carol is not a female.
I'm just used to the name Carol being female. My bad.
Okay, no. Well, it starts. It begins with a K, not a C, so that makes it male and tough.
Yeah, like Catherine with a K.
He does hit people with a purse, though.
He doesn't always hit people with a purse.
I know. He also has a jet. Well, his weapon's cool because like he does have a man bag. But I'm sorry, Stacy, you should probably cover this. But I like that his weapon was like a great sword that got broken. So it looks kind of like an axe, but he has a broken sword as a weapon.
Yeah, and he does hit people with his bag because his bag holds the giant book of like all monster data or whatever. But like I don't know how you customized him, but I customized him so we pretty much had the white waitress, not like waitress, waiter like outfit. And he had the what do you call it? The dizzy eyes glasses. So he just looked like that from like my whole game, and he was just awesome like that. And he's like, I am like the guild master, blah blah blah, and I'm doing this for Brave Vesperia, and he's like saying all his speech, and he looks like retarded, because like he has like the glasses on and everything, and it's just it's great, and I just love him how like even like he stands up to his stupid like hunting guild. And he has Yuri and Raven, and they join his guild, and possibly Rita or not elf chick. She's Korean. No, the elf chick. But they call it Chrizian or something, or whatever her race is. The one with the long ears.
Oh, okay.
Like Judith. That's it. That was her name.
Oh. I was like, she doesn't mean her because she said, "Yeah, I got you now."
Yeah, I think they're called Critians or something like that. Like the race, anyway. So like it's cool how he bands like everybody together, and he's the fucking boss of the guild, and he's like Ted, and he has like all these like older people like freaking following him and like doing what he says and stuff. And I was like, that kid is so boss now. He's like all these freaking like 25-year-olds working for him or something, and he's like 10. He's like, yeah, I run the shit now. That's great. Captain Carol for the win.
Nice. I went with Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, Knuckles the Echidna. I went with, and the reason I went with that is I almost went with Sonic because I will purchase any game that has Sonic. But at the same time, I was like, okay, he's not my favourite character within his own franchise, though, so that wouldn't really work. And this is personal favourite. It's also worth mentioning we decided not to take any Commander Shepherds or anything like that because everyone would have a different one. And of course, you're going to obviously go with their thing. You're going to agree with everything they did because you chose it. But yeah, I went with Knuckles as Sonic because, to the best of my recollection, he's the first character I can think of in a video game that started as a villain. I can't think of any other ones that did that. He started as a villain in Sonic 3. Obviously, it gets fixed if you get Sonic and Knuckles, and then get Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But even in that same game, for half the game, in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, he's a villain. That Robotnik is, at the time, should be Eggman, but as Eggman's basically tricked Knuckles into fighting Sonic, and he's like, aha, and as you're going through, you're like, I really want to hit this dude. I don't like it, the fact he keeps laughing at me when I die, but then when he becomes good, he's fucking awesome. He glides, he punches shit like through walls. You can go back and you can plug in Sonic 2 and then play as Knuckles in that, and it improves the game dramatically. And his personality, everything about Knuckles, he's just great. He's a big brawler type that just fucking loves. He's in Sonic, he's a big brawler type that just likes to punch shit and move the fuck on. Or in Sonic Adventure, he's also got the treasure hunting element.
I saw in the new Sonic, I don't know, whatever it is, the new
Boom.
Sonic thing. Okay, he's like really ripped or something. He's got like a crazy upper body and like tiny legs.
He does. That's because the designs for Sonic Boom are designed also to be like an animated series, so they wanted each character to look really dramatically different, because that'd be more aesthetically pleasing for a TV show. I may disagree, but I kind of like that. But yeah, he's got these big fucking like muscular arms, so he can just punch it. It's
Well, it
like,
makes sense though.
and his name, Knuckles, because he has two big fucking knuckles on his hand that he punches you with. How can you not like a character that's just called Knuckles? But
They were just spikes like that he put on his knuckles.
they were like white parts. They were like white bits on his glove. You know, on his glove, you saw like white knuckles, and all of his race has it. That's why they can all dig and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, can you use them to climb too? Which is awesome.
Yeah, he uses them to climb up, so you can climb up somewhere, then glide the fuck. Like Sonic 2, if you're playing Sonic 2 as Knuckles, with the Sonic and Knuckles, obviously it's Sonic 2 plugged in, Knuckles in Sonic 2. Basically, you climb up the side of one of the levels in, like, I think it's stage 2, then you glide. You can skip the entire fucking level in one go, and that just makes it hilarious. Because it's like, you shouldn't be doing this, but those games were more physics-based, so they knew you'd be doing this.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. But over to Pew Pew now for best character, female.
Alright, you might disagree with this, because you didn't like the game, but I love the game. So, and you're totally within your rights to, like, give your opinion. So I loved Clem from the Walking Dead game, like the Telltale one. I fucking loved her, because I felt like she, like, really captured what it meant to, like, be a kid. Like, when they're, like, at the farm in, like, I think it was episode 2 where they like eat people or whatever, or like the actual like not zombie people eat other people. She was at this farm and she's with this cow and she's like, I found this thing called a salt lick. By the way, don't lick it. And I'm just like, why? He was like, did you lick it, Clem? And he's like, I don't know. And he was like, that's so adorable, you know? Like that's what I think that's what a kid would say, you know?
Yeah, I will say I hate that character.
Yeah. Like, I really liked her, and I thought she, like, really captured what it meant to be, like, a kid in this kind of environment, and I really liked her voice actor and stuff.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, like I mentioned, I didn't like that character just because everyone in the game dies to protect her, and have you ever seen any movie with a shitty child actor, Rick?
Of course.
Imagine them reading the dialogues for her. Like, say, it wasn't just, I don't know, it's, I don't know. It's like, really? You call that fucking acting? Get over it.
I liked her acting.
I'd slap that kid so hard.
I thought it was really good.
Fair enough. But, Richter.
Alright, for my favorite female character, I went with Eris from Final Fantasy VII. Just because she was awesome. I liked her.
She was
And
awesome until she died with all my materia.
I know, and then they kill her, and she's like one of the few characters that they don't bring back after they kill her because they like
And I freaking
didn't
worked
want to
hard
finish the
to get
game.
And I worked hard to get her stupid ultimate weapon at the Chocobo like lottery place.
Mm. Well, her like limit break, her level 4 limit break was amazing because it just made you invincible for like 2 minutes or something, and so I feel like they had to kill her because otherwise that'd break the rest of the game. But I liked her. She was cool, and I was sad that she died. And I still hate Sephiroth to this day because he took her out of the game.
Now we're just left with Tippa. Ugh, what are we gonna do him?
Yeah. Yeah, we know everyone calls her Titta because that's her.
Yeah, her like
reason
freaking
for
boobs are
being
so
there.
big, they're like ridiculous. Like she could have serious back problems and be like crippled for life because of that.
Yeah.
But fair enough. I went with Juri from Street Fighter 4, or Super Street Fighter 4 technically. But basically, I really like Juri. If you don't know her character, basically, her parents were sort of killed by Shadow Lord and Bison and stuff, and she wants to get him back. And I know you're thinking, oh, that's like Chung Li, so she's going to be a cop, right? Nope. She joins his organization to take him down from within. And every time you see her, she's got like a hidden objective with everyone she teams up with. And she's willing to just go out there and fucking slaughter people because she enjoys killing. And her fighting style's based on like a praying mantis. So when the people get close to her, she just fucking like toys with them and plays with them, and she does like sexual innuendos because she's supposed to be hot. So she does like a sexual innuendo, like, "Oh yeah, you'd like some of this, wouldn't you?" And stuff like that. But then if a character hurts her, she gets fucking mental. She's like a brilliant fucking character. She's just wonderful, and I think she's which place was it now? I think it's Korea. She's the first Korean Street Fighter character too. But
That's cool.
yeah, her character is just brilliant. I love Juri. Super Street Fighter 4.
I like her design.
Yeah, her character model looked cool because I had taken her for Street Fighter month or whatever, and that was awesome.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, because we all talk to each other on Skype just for fun, every month we change the pictures to be a theme, and one month we chose Street Fighter, like this month is Castlevania, and so forth and so forth and so forth, etc. But now we come to Richter's favorite category of all time. I'm kidding because I've said that 2 or 3 times by now. But Richter, take us away with best weapon ever.
All right. There are some good ones to go with, but I knew that there wasn't going to be really any competition for probably one of my favorite weapons of all time. I'm not going to pronounce this properly because there's just letters in here, but the Chrysongrim, or Chrysogrim, I think it's supposed to be called, from Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night on PS1 and other systems. But that weapon like breaks the game. It's so good because normally in the 2D Castlevania games, when like you attack, you stop moving. You know, like there's an animation for that. The Chrysogrim, it's just like I think the description is something like the blade is so fast you can't see it or whatever. And basically, whenever you attack, you just see like the swipe of it. Like no blade comes out. You just see like that. You know, like it's so fast you just see the air slash kind of thing. And every attack it'll do like 3, so it's like, you know, like really quickly. And you don't stop while moving, so you can go down, just run down the hall, just mashing on square, and you just have this like zone of death in front of you. It's just like, it'd be like if Wolverine decided, you know, he could just keep moving his arms. Like, oh, that weapon is so great, and it's not the strongest in the game, but there's no invincibility period when you hit enemies. Like, I don't know if anyone's played like Mega Man games. Like a lot of times you hit the Robot Master, the bosses, and there's a couple seconds where they're invincible. That's not in Castlevania. So you can walk up to a guy, you can mash the button, and you just see like numbers flying off of them as you're just racking up all this damage. So even though stat-wise it's not the strongest weapon, it does damage so fast, and you're so mobile that there's no reason to use anything else. And it was awesome because my friend and I I think he was the first one that found it, but it was just on accident. Like, it's not in anywhere special. It's just a drop off of a random monster in the Upside Down library, and we decided to equip it. And we're like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then we were playing around with it, and it's ridiculous. Like, you could just slaughter bosses. Like, for the final boss, one of my friends, he was like, yeah, I had to use Game Shark. I'm like, why'd you have to use Game Shark? That game's not that hard. And he's like, well, I couldn't beat Dracula. I'm like, well, did you use this weapon? He's like, no. And I'm like, watch. And I went and got the weapon for him, and I just fought Dracula, and you just slaughter him. And he's like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah, this weapon's great. And they've put versions of it in other, like, some of the handheld Castlevanias, but they always tone it down or like try to mess with it because it was just flat out broken. I'm not gonna try and pretend it wasn't, but it's but I think that the reason it wasn't caught is because it's so non-assuming. Like, you just kind of get it 3/4 of the way through the game. It's not special until you decide to abuse it. But the copies of it in the other games just were never as good, even though they were good and entertaining. Just the original Chris the Grim is freaking amazing.
Nice. The closest thing to that I could think of in Lords of Shadow series is the final fight on the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're against Satan himself. And he goes, aha, I'm going to teach you. Boom, and he puts up this giant portal that covers the entire level. And he's like, aha, now I've made it so magic is unlimited here, and goes to attack you. And it's like, you do realize I have magic too, right? Boom, so you pull out your weapon, and now you've got unlimited magic to just fucking slaughter through him with all your magic. It's like, you've handed me the tool of your defeat. Why?
Yeah.
I always love it when villains do that. Like Bowser, he goes to these great troubles of building all these castles and never blew up properly and stuff like that. And then the one that he's in, he places a little axe behind him that will destroy the bridge that he steps on to taunt his enemy. But why? Why would you do this? What did you go with best weapon? Pew pew.
Alright. This, and it totally counts, but I was fucking say it. No, okay. I said the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, but not just like the original blade or anything. But the thing is with the Keyblade, at least to my understanding of how it works, is that every single upgrade that you get is actually just a keychain to the original blade. So once you get the Keyblade, it can turn into like fucking anything. Like, all you have to do is put an attachment on it, and it turns into all these versatile weapons. So once you have like basically a Keyblade, you can like turn it into anything, and that's freaking awesome. And that's what I love about any weapon is versatility. Boom! Now you have access to all these fucking other weapons because you have the Keyblade. Because all you do is stick a keychain on it.
Nice.
So that's what I like about it.
That is kind of cool that that's what changes it, is you just put a keychain on it.
Yeah.
It's literally, because every time you get like a new weapon, it doesn't say you got new weapon. It says you got Wishing Star keychain, you got this keychain, and it doesn't say you got an actual physical weapon.
Yeah.
Yep, because I think it's always supposed to be his Keyblade because it's meant to be tuned to his heart. So like he only gets one, although some people get two that they dual wield. But he
has two hearts.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Maybe he has
Lord.
a broken half and a broken half.
He's just a Time Lord.
That doesn't work.
He's a Key Lord.
Yeah.
Key Lord.
My weapon I went with, for my favourite, was Blades of Chaos from God of War.
Yeah.
Oh, two fucking swords chained to you that you can change to be on fire and ice and shit, and you just go boom, and the combos and the devastation. I've never had a weapon in a video game that I felt looked more badass than that. To the point where, for the longest time, when I was for a certain time at least, I was writing fan fictions. I know it's kind of sad, but I wrote some fan fictions of
We've all been there, don't worry.
Of various stuff. Like one of the ones I wrote, I believe I wrote a Power Ranger fanfic, and the evil Ranger, when he had two swords, I made the two swords and tied to his body in a very similar way, but they were like meant to be living swords, so it was like the symbiote where they attached into his spine. But I just love the idea of being able to throw it and it goes room round you and you just grab it again because of the chain. The Chain of Chaos is just so awesome. It's badass. I want everything to have a Chain of Chaos. I want one in real life. I want chains. I want chains coming out of my body to swords. Make it happen, God. If you're listening.
I think the what speaks the most about that weapon is I'm pretty sure just about everyone does this when they play the game. So you're playing God of War, you get to a point it's like, look, you get the Spear of Achilles, and you're like, oh, okay, and then you switch back to the Blades of Chaos.
Yes.
You don't use anything else.
I don't. I
Like,
just
sometimes you have to, and you're like, you switch to like the Nimian Fist or whatever. I think you had to do like break something with those, and then you switch back to the Blades of Chaos, and you're like, now you're dead.
Yeah, I mainly use the Blades of Chaos, or I believe they also get upgraded when you get extra powers to Blades of Hades and stuff, so you can get like fire, but they're the same blade.
Yeah.
But I just use the Blades of Chaos because I'm sorry, those big chains like boom, AoEs around enemies, or just one enemy to just go fuck off. You have to slaughter everyone. Why the fuck aren't you running away? And the stuff you could do, it's so good. So many games have copied that since and tried to make weapons that are used similar.
Yeah.
But I like that. But I believe it's over to Pew Pew for best power up. Power up. You've got the touch. You've got the power up.
Power up, I think, best power up in my opinion is if you played Bomberman, you got the P-Bomb. Oh my god, like, it's game over when you get the P-Bomb, because you can pretty much put up a whole entire row of just death right there. If you step anywhere in this row, you're dead. And then you can have multiple bombs. So as soon as you get the P-Bomb, like, by the time you can place multiple bombs, you can place like every single fucking row probably and blow it up all at the same time practically. So there is no safe place at all. You're just done. If you get the P-Bomb, you're done. Whoever gets P-Bomb wins. Because you can literally blow up the entire it blows up the entire row. Like literally from the entire straight line, you're done. And then if you place multiple bombs, because at that time you probably have like the ability to place multiple bombs, you can just place it fucking everywhere, and literally the whole like freaking grid, like no matter where you are, you're dead.
My favorite thing with that in Bomberman is to max out the bombs so they do like the entire row of damage, then get the bouncy bombs, then get the kick. And yes, I will kick, then go and hide as fast as I can in like a couple of blocks and just watch as it bounces the fuck across the level as the other player's like, oh, for fuck's sake, as I'm trying to avoid this bomb. I was like, where the fuck's it gonna go off? Boom. That was the good Bomberman. More for the worst next week. But what did Richter have for power up?
Okay, I didn't necessarily tie it to a specific game, but I chose double jump. I know it's an ability in some games, but it's a power up in some, like Castlevania and Metroid and stuff. But I love that thing. I know it's not the strongest, but I love me some double jumping. Like, you know, I play a game and I'm like, oh, I can't double jump, and I'm always a little sadder. And then in the games when like you get the double jump, I'm like, yeah. And even if you can clear a pit with one jump, I tend to double jump anyway. Like, I don't know, I just love the ability to do that. It's so useful, and I love double jump.
It's really useful, but have you played the Simpsons game?
Which one?
The one called the Simpsons one that was like all new storyline. It parodied some stuff.
Yes,
and, like,
I did play that one. Yes.
How fucking hilarious! Like, I was gonna quote it, but then I didn't want to offend you. So I wanted to make sure you played it. How hilarious was it when you get that ability when you first learn double jump and you do it, and boom, comic book guy pops up with double jump. Oh, that's so original. And I'm just like, yeah, I like me some double jumps, or the combo of double jumps and boosts, where you can boost after the second jump. So it's like dum dum.
Yeah.
The worst is when you do that and you're like, yeah, this is untouchable, and you go to do it another time, and then the other gap's just slightly behind. You're like, no.
Yeah. What have I done?
Yeah. I regret nothing except for this jump. But yeah, I like that. I like good old double jump. For power up, I went with something a little different. I went with, ironically, I would say it's a evolution of the double jump wreck. Tanuki Suit Mario 3. When I think power ups, I think Mario, and I'm sorry, he had a little raccoon suit on, or Tanuki. He had a little raccoon suit on, and he runs across. And I didn't like the cape flying in Super Mario World, which I always preferred the third world, where you had to go up and down and do it. I loved the one where you just run, and then when it reaches the max P, which ironically is a cross between Stacy's P and your jump, you press a button and he goes, it just starts to fly up in the air. I love that suit. It's wonderful.
That is amazing. You can
I
become the
want one
statue
in real
too.
life.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
You become a statue in real life. I want a working one in real life. That's how I'd get everywhere. And I would just find excuses for it too. Like I'd check my shelf. Oh, we seem to be out of oregano. I'll just pop down to the shops.
Mail's here. You like jump out of the second story window. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Mail's here. Mail's here. He's dropped my parcel. Boom! Statue him. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. I want a Tanuki suit in real life. It'd be so wonderful.
That would be awesome.
Which, to be fair, how awesome would that be, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Me and you, we should form a superhero team.
Uh-huh.
You in your big, powerful Gatling gun-style mech suit, and me as a raccoon. Mech suit and raccoon suit.
Yeah.
So what can you do? Yeah, it's like a really high. Huh? Couldn't he just throw you and you'd get equal height? Shut up! It's like a little tail went and stature. But yeah, what did you think of the Tanuki suit, Pew Pew?
I really liked it, and I think Luigi even looked better in it. Because his was like a lighter color, and, it's pretty cool.
Well, fair enough. I always preferred Mario's, but fair enough. I haven't seen. I think you can get on some one of them. I think Peach and stuff can get Tanuki suits too. I know they can get cat suits, but
wasn't there the sometimes offensive white Tanuki suit, the one that like the auto win? Like,
yeah, if you
can't
saw
they get
that.
that? So I imagine they could get it sort of a Tanuki suit that way.
there was that one. Yeah, I thought I've seen him in a Tanuki suit. It may have just been fan drawings or something. But next up, I believe we go to Richter again. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And its favorite motion controls or voice controls used within a game.
Okay, so favorite motion control in a game. I went with Dance Central.
Nice.
Either 1, 2. I haven't played 3, but 1 or 2. Either one. Just because it worked really well, and I mean you could. Using the menu, obviously, it worked, but the controller was better. But just it tracked really well doing all the motions, so I went with that. And I know it's a weird choice, and it does take. Well, I'm gonna go with the second one actually, just because it does. You can like turn off the like taking your picture thing, because no one wants to see a picture of me dancing.
I want to see a picture of you dancing, but no. If you want to see a picture of Richter dancing, leave us a comment. But. But no, I was going to say, that is a weird choice, because I thought you would have gone with Mass Effect with the voice controls from the demo you played. I still love that. Make this a better game.
Can't do that. Garrus had my back. That was fun for trolling. I don't know how it worked.
I thought it was the one where you went, make this a better game, and they responded with, I'm on that now, like, Roger, and then suddenly you're like, you're lying to me.
Well, I think I did it a couple times because I remember just yelling outside. Because I remember I said something like that. Yeah, I did say, yeah, make this a better game. And I remember at one point Garrus was just like, I can't do that or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a different command where he said that, but I remember he said something like that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Garrus, kill yourself. I can't do that.
I don't know. In my time playing the game, I think he can do that very well.
Nice.
Okay, we're all behind cover. Garrus, what are you? He just runs out. Thanks, Garrus.
Garrus, get your ass back behind cover now, you fucking asshole. Where's Garrus? You didn't use magic word. Please. He comes behind the back. That's so hard. And please use your indoor voice.
Just look at him and be like, this is why your face is messed up.
Yeah. Newsflash, I was the one that fucked you up.
Yeah.
But what was Pew Pew's favorite motion or voice commands within a game, or voice controls within a game?
I only play the Mass Effect one, so I just put that by default. Because that was fun, because sometimes it would work. If I chose, like, usually whenever I said choose, like, what do you call it? One
Really?
of those, stop skills.
Can I just say, really?
Yeah.
You've only played with motion controls or voice controls. You've only played Mass Effect. You've never played Skyward Sword, Wii Sport.
Oh, that was for voice. I was thinking it had both motion and voice.
Richter, is your palm firmly within your face?
Yes.
My bad.
Okay, you went with Mass Effect. Fair enough.
Okay, sorry. I thought I had to have both. Okay. Okay,
No,
anyway, so
we went with one or the other because some games on the Kinect were great for voice connectivity, but some games are great for motion stuff on like the Wii or you know what I mean. So it was like both, and obviously Kinect can also do motion, but it's like it was both. We put them both
okay,
together.
well, just on motion then, like Skyward Sword is fucking amazing because you actually had to aim that shit. You can't just whack around like a fucking asshole, like swinging your sword around. You have to actually like choose like where you have to like hit the sword because you have to aim because they'll like block you and stuff. And all my like a lot of my other friends who played it was like, this is bullshit. I can't hit anything. I'm like, that's because you have to aim. It's like, but I used to just whack the thing around and like I'll kill everybody. But like, yeah, now you have to aim like a real swordsman. And I thought that was cool.
To be fair, I didn't aim much, and I did it.
Like, it's not saying you have to like aim much, but you have to like attempt to aim.
I know. I was
We have
hoping
to like
I
cut
was
certain directions, right?
Yeah, you had to aim in a certain direction, but I was hoping it would be like, have you played Sports Champion?
No.
There's a sword duel on that on Gladiators where you can actually do it like I have before now. It's so accurate that you can do it like I have. Pull your sword around to go behind like the female gladiator you're fighting or the male. I only did this to the female. And turn the sword on its side so it's the flat end and spank her ass a couple of times and pull the sword back and stab her. Because why the fuck not?
Well, I'm just talking about other people where literally all they do is just shake the controller like up and down and like or in any direction like blah.
Oh, I'll be honest. Even when you could do that on the Wii, I always prefer to do the actions. Like when I'm playing tennis, I want to go boom. I didn't want to just sit there and go waggle your hand like some people do. I wanted to go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It made me feel more
like
immersed.
really awesome. I felt like really in tune with my sword then.
Nice. Yeah, they didn't do the motion bad in that game, I will admit. I have seen some games on the Wii where they had done the motion bad, sadly.
Yeah,
But
that wasn't it.
more on that next week. No, my next week is the worst one on Wii, but it's not Skyward Sword. It's a horrible command. But I went with my favourite, Sorcery, on PS3. You have the navigation stick in one hand to move and stuff, which isn't motion, I am aware, but I'm getting there. The other one, you got the motion control in your hand, and it's a wand. And you have to, and you're playing as like this lazy ass apprentice of a sorcerer, and the sorcerer gets kidnapped, so you actually have to learn spells of a sarcastic cat that constantly comes around and starts to tell you stuff like, you're doing this wrong, and she flirts with you a bit, because I think she used to be human, and stuff like that, but you have to aim, properly aim, when you do the spell casting, Mick.
Mm-hmm.
And say like I'm against an ice demon right in front of me, what I can do is get my wand and to sort of spin it, like a sort of like a tennis motion of hitting the ball, to curve, and you can flick it as you curve, and you can, if you do it right, you can, which the game wants you to, you can make your balls of lightning curve in the direction you fire them. They'll go through the fire, and the ball of magic will then go boom and ignite into a fireball and melt the ice.
Oh,
and
nice.
certain enemies you can only do that way, like you have to fly high up to get certain ones or low down. They did such a great job with the spell casting and sorcery that it was fucking awesome. And I was like, as much as I don't like Harry Potter, why has there not been a Harry Potter game that's this great to play with magic?
Yeah.
And you also got different spells too, like you could press like the move one and just slam down the controller. Well, not slam it down, but shake it down, and you could cause like an earthquake and stuff like that. It was fun. Yeah, if anyone here has the PlayStation Eye and the Move and navigation stick on PlayStation 3, I highly recommend you pick up Sorcery. Even more so if you like magic, cats, wizards, sarcastic people who have suddenly hurled into the role of being a hero or fun. That's anyone here. But yeah, movie. The next category is movie based on a video game. That's movie that is based on a video game. Not a game based on a movie based on a video game. Take us away, Pew.
I
Pew?
totally had it the other way around.
Oh, for fuck. Okay, over to Rick.
Okay, I had the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Nice.
Because I think that, in a lot of ways, Mortal Kombat, they have plot, but it really didn't start with plot. Like, it took a few games before they really started, putting more narrative in there. There was the kind of bare bones, like, oh, there's a tournament, and I think that they found a way to transition it well while still putting in, like, other stuff, to make it a movie that wasn't just, like, an hour and a half fight scene. Like, just fight scene after fight scene, which also would have been cool as a movie. But anyway, like, that's still one of the few video game movies I've seen where I'm just like, I actually liked that as a movie. I thought it was pretty good, so I went with that one.
Yeah, I'll admit the Mortal Kombat movie, as a movie, it's silly and it's campy.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Boom, into Goro's nuts.
This is the part where you fall down.
Which
I
will
still
bring us
use
to
that
our
line
next
occasionally.
category of nutshot in a movie based on a video game.
Alright, I got one now.
Cool, over to Pew.
Alright, okay, Professor Layton, the movie, because that was actually like a movie game, and, what? Okay.
That was a movie game?
Yeah, Professor Layton's a game, and then they made a movie. And it
You
was
mean
already
a movie based on a game, not a movie game?
It's a movie based
Yeah, it was
on
like
a game.
an animated movie based off of Professor
Fair
Layton.
enough. The way she said movie, it was a movie game, I was thinking like, I don't know, Fantastic Four, the game based on the movie. That's a movie game to me.
Oh, no. This like was based on the game, and it worked really well because
Right.
there's puzzles like in the movie, just like there are in the game, and I actually like got most of them, which made me feel really smart.
Oh, I disagree with any game that does that.
No, but it really worked. It wasn't like retarded ones that like, okay, well we're dying, let's solve a puzzle. This was actually relevant to the situation. It didn't feel like out of place and stuff.
How
And
hard were they? Were they stuff like, oh no, I'm dying, quick, audience, help me. What noise does the cow make? And so it's like, I should remember that. Is it bar?
Basically,
Is it
it
bar?
worked with the storyline because this guy like put together this whole contest of like whoever wins the contest wins like immortal life or whatever.
Nice.
So he had one of these questions that says, okay, because they're in a freaking exhibit in a museum. And he said, I want you, you have to stand in the room where you can you just stand in the room where the oldest thing you can see is. So basically, they went outside because the oldest thing you can see is like the stars, and the museum also pertains to outside because there's exhibits outside as well.
Or they went to Marcus Shadow's house.
Or like another one was like the biggest crown, go to the biggest crown you can find, and that was like they had to leave the area, and because the whole like freaking building is a crown, so that was like another one, or like and all these really cool puzzles. Like it was just really cool, like thinking and everything. It was really great. The only little problem I would say is they couldn't get the original voice actor for Luke, which annoyed me for a second. But like literally, the voice actor is really good in his own way. So he's really good. He's also a really good Luke as well, even though it's not the one from the games. So you get over that really quickly.
To be fair, if it's a movie based on a game, I have no problem if they change the voice actor, because I'm like, well, they worked for the game. Maybe they've gone for some more movie appeal or something. I never mind that in a movie. I understand some people don't, but I never mind it. Like, I wasn't
they got all
overly
the other
waiting on Sly Cooper's voice being changed.
Well, see, I really appreciate it because he was the only one that they didn't have. All the original voice actors were there except for him, so that's pretty damn good getting everybody else. I understand you
Exactly.
couldn't get him. That's fine. So Jesus Christ, you got fucking everybody else. Even like the mini side characters had like one line. You still got them there, and I was like, shit. Like,
Nice.
yeah, that was. It's really great. And there's like a few songs in there that are actually really good too. But yeah, and they didn't. Yeah, it just the whole thing's awesome.
Nice. Um, my movie based on a game, I actually have a tie for the next two, and I mean, in this category, both of them are considered ties to me, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But because I got but both this category has a tie for best and worst. Both has two, but I went with because I didn't know if one of these counted. I went with the Mass Effect Paragon Lost,
Mm.
and then I went with Street Fighter, the Jury OVA.
Hmm.
As well. I wasn't sure if the OVA counts because it's original video animated, but that's still a movie in the
Yeah.
broad definition of what a movie is.
I would count it.
Fair enough. And yeah, the Mass Effect Paragon Lost made me actually give a shit about from Jack from not Jack, whatever the fuck his name was, Jacob from the third game. Which when I played the third game originally, I didn't give a shit about him. Playing that game, I cared a lot more. I'm like, whoa, he has an interesting backstory. I like this dude now. I was a lot nicer to him in the playthrough of the third game.
Mm.
Street Fighter Jory OVA, I like it just because it introduces you to Jory, shows you her backstory and stuff because it was tied to. If they did that to launch Super Street Fighter or something like that, then you had one of the collections.
Mm-hmm.
And it is available on YouTube, and that's one of the few times you'll hear me say I recommend people watch on YouTube. The reason why is because if you bought that game in Japan, you got that movie for free.
Mm.
If you bought that game in America or England, you didn't get that game for free. The only time you would get that game is if you spent the money and got the £200-300 collector's set with every single game in it, and then a couple and all the films. And I'm like, that's supposed to be free to me based on that. It's supposed to be free to me. I have no problem with looking at that online because it's supposed to be free to me.
Yeah.
And because I felt really cheated by the fact that wasn't included in my game when I was like, ah. But it's pretty good. It shows you her OVA, and there's a part. Some parts are a little silly, but there's a part where she fucking slaughters fucking Chun-Li. Chun-Li comes up to her and goes, "Who are you?" And you just see her grin. It's like, "You really don't want to do this, girl." And she's like, oh, "Come with me. You're under arrest." And she goes, "I won't you." Boom! And she does like her foot kick thing where it glows and shit. She goes, boom! And she puts her foot onto her chest and you just see it glow. And boom! Chun-Li goes flying the fuck into a wall and just collapses down with like broken arm, broken spine. Everything is in hospital for the entire film.
Wow.
There's even a part where fucking the new version of Guile, because I don't like jacked up Guile because he looks too steroidy now. But the Guile even goes to take her on at one point. He starts to do a lot more punches and stuff to her. But then when she gets pissed off and uses the full power, she goes boom and just sends him fucking crashing through a fucking plane that was on the floor, where it was parked there, and just leaves him dead on the floor. And it's like, yeah, we're done here. She walks the fuck off to go,
Nice.
and it's like that's wonderful. I love Joey. That's a great introduction. But Mass Effect Paragon Lost was equally good for other reasons because it expanded the universe and made you care about characters that you don't normally care about. The Joey one's good because I already cared about Joey. That's the reason I watched it. But so yeah, that was my two choices for best movie based on a game. And now I believe that leaves it to we're down to our last three. And Pew Pew went first last time, so it's over to Rick for Arcade Light Gun, aka best Pew Pew game.
As much as some of these are really fun, I had to go with Revolution X. If anyone doesn't remember it, it was the light gun game, all supported to PlayStation, where I played it much more. but I'll get to that in a second. Where you had to fight these people taking over the world and abolishing music because it leads to creativity and stuff. And who could help you abolish these or beat these people that are trying to get rid of music? Aerosmith. And it was like actual like they had like taken pictures of them or video and like digitized it so it looked totally crappy. It was like 1992 technology, but it was like actual the people of Aerosmith. It was really cool, and the game is stupid, but it's fun as heck. I mean, you start in a nightclub, and then he gives you the keys to his car, which he throws out of a TV. I just want to make that clear that you're watching a video of him, and the keys just fly out when he tells you to take his car, and a hand actually comes up to catch him. I'm like, where does he throw those? But then you can select the next three stages in whatever order you want. But when you go to like a chemical plant and you like stop them making the whatever mind control goop that they're making, one is you have to they're stealing a busload of children in like Egypt and stuff, and you have to shoot up the bus so that they don't steal the kids, and it's just it's one of those like so bad it's good games. Like it's not like a bad made game, it's just silly that's the premise.
That premise makes me want to play it. I want to play that game.
It's really fun, and you you can rescue the Aerosmith band members in the game. They're like in little hidden locations, and despite how much I've played it, I've never been able to get all 5 in one go because there's some that have a random element to it, but it's kind of cool. So you get replayability, but like there's like your normal shot, and then the other thing you get like a powered shot that uses a different button. Like on the arcade one, it was like because you had like a little Uzi, that's attached to the base or whatever, and it was like if you're holding it with your right hand with the trigger, it was like your left thumb I think hit it, but you would fire out a CD. That was what like the stronger shot was that you had limited of. So you had unlimited machine gun, but you could shoot a CD and it would damage stuff, and you could. And then there was a stronger one that was a burning CD, but it was cool. And there a lot of the stuff in the background you could destroy, like doors, like on stalls in the bathroom, and like there were crates in the warehouse, and you could break them. And my friend always thought it was funny because we played the hell out of that on PlayStation 1, and he was always he had better accuracy. And he actually hit the cap of CDs. I never got anywhere close because I would break everything in the background. So like at the end of the stage, it would be like, oh, here's your score, and it's like enemies killed. He would always have more. Like accuracy, he would have more. And then based off the members of Aerosmith you saved, you'd get a multiplier. So if you saved like one person, your score would be doubled. And you could probably see where this is going. And we would try to beforehand would be like, well, I have less points, I'll take this next member. We tried to keep it even. We weren't like competitive dicks or anything, but there was one level where it doubled his score, and I still had a higher overall score because I destroyed so much. And he's just like, wow, I can't believe that works in the game. I was like, yeah, just like breaking stuff in the background. It was way too much fun.
Nice. How about you, Pew Pew? Arcade game or light gun game?
Does Tetris count?
Okay then.
There was an arcade version.
Okay, and Pac-Man.
Okay, we'll allow Pac-Man.
Okay. I feel like they're both like old arcadey-ish, but anyway.
Pac-Man was better.
Pac-Man was awesome, and what's really cool is that that's the one video game my mom can also play, so we could play it together. Like literally, we spent like maybe I think 6 hours in this New Jersey cafe, like just putting quarters in and playing this game together. It was so cool. Like that's all we did. It was awesome.
Oh,
So,
I have to
I really like that.
I have to say to your girlfriend, don't let the guy save the world. You need to buy Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. Well, it might have been Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man. I'm not exactly sure which gender of Pac-Man it was.
Did it have a bow?
I just remember yellow circle and eating dots.
Fair enough, but like I said, Pac-Man is awesome. I love Pac-Man.
Okay.
My one, arcade or light gun, I went with House of the Dead. I went with the first one because honestly, they're all equally good, but that one launched the franchise, and I love those series.
Reload. Sorry.
Yeah. I love that series. It's just, a zombie comes out, boom, 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 and you're shooting at the screen. It's like boom, and it's fucking awesome. And they've ported it to consoles recently, and it's still fucking fun. It's not as fun to play with a controller, but it's fun to play with like Move or something like boom, 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 and shoot every fucking thing in sight. That's the only reason I had 2 Move controllers is I bought House of the Dead game and I wanted multiplayer.
That is a good reason.
Yeah, man, I was like, fuck it, I can justify it by saying I can use it on Sports Champion because you can use 2, but why not? But yeah, House of the Dead, you point at the screen, you're just shooting the shit out of the stuff on the screen, and it's just fun as fuck. Like zombie coming up, doom, 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 with a light gun, it's awesome. So yeah, that was that one. Over to Pew Pew now, I believe, for best single player. Best single player experience. Doesn't mean best game it's a single player, it means the best game that you've had the most single player experience with for people listening.
Okay, and the best single player experience probably be Dragon Age Origins, because I did play that on single player. And that was really awesome.
Okay, I thought you were going to say more.
I already said like a whole bunch about it, so I don't know if I should say like everything I said again.
Fair enough. Yeah, we have. Just go back and watch multiple podcasts.
There's no like multiplayer in it, but like there's so many awesome characters in it. It's really great. It's freaking awesome. You can just have a whole fucking like 20-30 hour adventure just with like playing this game, and you can play it a million freaking times over and still not get it at all.
And how about Rick?
I again had a repeat. I had the original Disgaea. I believe that was my favorite game of all time. But I think it's an amazing single-player experience just because there's so much crap to occupy your time. Because there's multiple endings. It takes a while to get through the story. There's lots of different units you can make. And if anyone remembers, every like piece of equipment and item has a randomly generated dungeon inside of it, depending, and the maximum number of floors is based off, if it's a legendary or rare or just normal. But there's just so much. I don't think you could ever complete that game because I mean, if you do a floor of the random dungeon, you'll get an item, and oh look, there's another dungeon if you want to do it, and it's just a great single player game.
That does sound fun. My single player, I'll admit, I almost went with Knights of the Old Republic. But I decided, no, I went with a different route. I went with Morrowind on Xbox. That's the first Xbox. because I believe it's also on PC. I don't want to discriminate. But I played on Xbox. I loved Morrowind because to me, while like with PP went with Dragon Age and stuff, I had that with Knights of the Old Republic of, oh my god, it's so good, it's such a great story. Morrowind was just fun, almost in the Minecraft style way for me. I went in there, and for the longest time, I just had fun of stuff like, okay, there's some vampires, quick, bite me, and I made them bite me, and then I deliberately didn't get cured, so I became a vampire, and during daylight, my health would go down unless I hid in shade and stuff. It's like, what? This is awesome! And I had to go and find people and bite them, and oh god, the amount of stuff you could do. It felt like, and I don't know if it actually is, but it felt like a game that had the possibility of never ending.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I loved that. As a single player experience, it felt so huge and so like I can do anything I fucking want. I don't have to do the story. I'm a vampire. I liked Skyrim and I liked Oblivion, but Morrowind, in my opinion, was just head and shoulders above those two for the experience. Because I was underwhelmed with Oblivion, and Skyrim had too many problems for me. But Morrowind on Xbox. I don't know if either one of you two have played that one.
I have not played it.
Yeah, I have. My problem with those games is I like them, but I never do the story. Like, they're like, all right, go to this town. I'm like, cool, and I wander like the exact opposite direction. But those are amazing.
Cool story, bro. You want the other way. Yeah. You need to go over there. You're the champion of our land. Cool story, bro.
Please save our king. He's over yonder, and he points. Like, oh, okay, just walk. It's yonder. Yeah, I know. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that for me that was one of the joy of just being able to do whatever the fuck you like be a vampire and start killing people, and I just loved that element. If that makes sense, I thought you would have played it. Honestly, I knew I thought Pew Pew might not have, but I thought you would have because you love RPGs, and it's an RPG. I figured, yeah, Rick's played it, but I wasn't quite sure.
No, yes, I have played it.
Just like I'm sure you also played Sonic Dark Chronicles on DS.
Yes.
Oh, come on, it's a
I think
BioWare
the-
Sonic the Hedgehog game.
I did play that one.
Oh, I thought it was just sarcastic with the pause, and yes.
No, it was just kind of like
oh,
the. I wanted to like that game more than I did, but it was pretty good.
I love any game where I can put Sonic together with Amy and be a complete dick to Tails. That's like, shut up and take my money.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't like Tails. But yeah.
I love Tails. He's my favorite.
I believe, is it Pew next?
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No. She went first with Dragon Age.
Oh, yes.
So, Richter, take us away with our final category. Our final category, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight. Multiplayer.
All right. There were some.
Experience.
There were some ones I considered taking, like Phantasy Star Online, and I almost picked Left 4 Dead, the first one, because that's a great multiplayer experience, and it really shows people, your true colors. But I had to go with Monster Hunter, because I don't know which one. Let's just say 3 Ultimate. There, we'll go with that.
Just because you played with me?
Yes,
Is that
that's
why you chose
why.
that one?
That's why I chose that one.
I'm smiling like a cat.
But that game, like, just even across the whole genre, or the series, not genre, even across the whole series, I put it like several hundred hours in each one. Like, they just showed a collector's edition of the new one that's coming out, and I was like, ooh, it's $60. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. And I tell my wife, and she's like, yeah, it's fine. Because I'm like, well, $60, but I'll probably play that for like 300 hours. And it has a lot of the good elements of, like, you should work together in that game, and communication helps, and and because there's no levels, it's easier to play with varying people at different points of the story, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, of progression of it. But I think that's a fun multiplayer game. Granted, not for everyone, but I think it's my favorite multiplayer game. That was it. I don't know.
Alright, I'll go with mine. Right? We still got Mo
Okay.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
I'll
thought
go.
I was talking. I realized I was muted by mistake, but I was saying to Richter that with Monster Hunter, while I did the exact thing he did with Morrowind with that. Which perfect because he went with multiplayer experience. Multiplayer playing with Rick and stuff, it was kind of fun. I had fun playing online. I didn't give a shit about the story mode because it's like some guy I don't know is like, "Yay, my village is under attack. You're gonna help me with the fish," and I'm like, "I don't know you. Don't fucking assume I'm gonna help you. You wouldn't do this in real life. If I was on the street, you wouldn't come up to me and be like, "Oh, could you help me? Or there's a kitchen fire. Could you give me some food?" No, fuck off. But that goes into the whole thing of all games doing that. Whenever you're playing a game, you're always the most important person in any game, and that always makes me laugh. I want a game called Side Character the Game. What do you guys think?
Monster Hunter's good for you guys.
I would want to play side character of the game.
I'd like to play a side character game where you're playing as like a guy who owns the store, and like you got a wife, maybe some kids. You go to your job and stuff, and every now and again the hero comes in and tells you like, "Oh, I've just defeated such and such, the Dark Lord." You're like, "Oh, cool. Here you go, guy. Here's a discount. Have a sword and manage your business."
Actually, there is one like that.
Nice. I must play it. It's on Vita, isn't it?
No, it's on a PC, but there is one where you basically manage an item store. And
Cool.
I mean, you still have to go into dungeons and do stuff, and because that's pure profit. But that's basically the gist of it. Is you run it and like heroes come and they're like, "Hi, I want to buy this sword," and you're like, "Here's a magical one," and they're like, "Ooh, I want that." But you basically play as the item shop that like is in the dungeons. Like sometimes you play a game and you're like, "Why is there someone selling like health potions in the middle of the forest here?" Like,
now you know.
Howdy, stranger.
Enchantment?
Yeah, yes. No enchantment. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, over to Pew.
Alright. Mine, for multiplayer was Payday 2, because that was probably the most funnest game with you guys. We were all playing it, and you all had like your own little jobs and everything. That was awesome. That was like the best. That was
I love
super
that
cool.
game.
Yeah, that was
game is
freaking.
fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I like how we all had like little specialties too, and we all had all the masks and customization and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Walking Dead game they're doing like that. And does Pew Pew have a cold? She sounds like she has a cold today.
I do have a cold.
Oh, no, she's ew.
What? Oh, I think you did.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the Walking Dead one they're doing. I'm hoping like Rick will get that because it'll be Payday with zombies. Yeah, I may not like the Walking Dead get a TV show. The comics are cool, or the other games and stuff. But I'm like, all you need to know is there was a zombie apocalypse. Go. Yeah, and you could pretty much drop in, so that'll be fun. My multiplayer experience, which I touched upon in the last video or two ago. But I went with Battlefront 2 on the Xbox. I've lost count of the amount of times I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a stormtrooper, or, oh, I'm going to be a rebel, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm flying my TIE Fighter, and we're all on teams, we're all soldiers, but it's not like, oh, everyone's Luke Skywalker or something. It's like, you're just a regular stormtrooper. That's fun as fuck. And it was a great concept, and it worked. It was a great way of doing a war game. I've never felt the same way as I have playing Battlefront 2 as I have with any other war game, if that makes sense. But I just really got into it. And I loved the Battlefront 2 added the hero system. I'm not sure if you guys played the second one, but the second one added the hero system. So let's say we were all playing together, Rick, and you were the best player. Suddenly, you now get a choice. Do you want to play as a hero because you unlocked him? And if you picked it, you could then march through the field as Darth Vader, fucking swinging a lightsaber, decapitating people. And the heroes were really fucking hard to take down too. So it was like an award for being a good troop. You got leveled up to being okay. Now you're V Vader, and there's not like thousands of Vaders either. There's just one, and one guy gets to play as him at one time, and it's whoever's done the best in the game gets given him. Or you can set it to random, which I've done before now. Because I played with some people and they weren't quite as good as me and stuff like that, or just like the same two people were always best. So we went no, and we set it to random so that basically everyone would be given a chance to be the hero.
That's cool. When I played that game was freaking amazing. I maxed the shit out of my Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I love that game. Looking forward to EA's Battlefront. Hopefully that doesn't disappoint me, but looking forward to that. But that takes us to the end of our rewards for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had fun. Hopefully, kids, you learned a lesson.
Wait,
And
there's next week.
what was that?
There's next week with the bad ones.
I said that takes us to the end of our rewards as in for today.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully, kids, you had fun. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you learned a little bit about your favourite Xpoundians. But I was your host or your guide down this wonderful little rabbit hole, Chriz, aka the Mole. I was joined by Anastasia, Lazerbeam, aka Princess Pew Pew.
Yay!
And I was also joined by the Sad Gamer, aka Sir Hammerlot.
Thank you.
And next week, as Princess Pew Pew alluded to, kids, you get another bedtime story you get to find out the worst of each respected category. Hopefully that won't terrify you too much before bed, but hopefully you had a little bit of fun.